Welcome to MockCat 10. As was the case for MockCat 7, now I am attempting MockCat 10 live and we will be recording this to ensure both of us can keep track of the time. We have a timer here and hopefully this will act as a guide for some of you, if not all of you, as to how I take a paper and maybe some of the things you can implement for yourself also. Vis-a-vis MockCat 7, there is a small change in the process which will adopt. In MockCat 7, I attempted the entire paper, I spoke everything. This time I will do almost the same thing, except I will not be reading the RCs aloud. I will not read the RCs aloud because one, it is not only extremely tiring, but it also slows me down significantly. When I am doing the question of RC, I will again speak out whatever my thought process is. But in general, I will not be speaking out the RCs, the passages, so that I am able to conserve some amount of time and also reduce my fatigue in the paper. Okay, so we'll wait for 250 to happen, then I'll start. And as was the case last time, I also have a PDF of the paper with me, a printout of the question paper, which acts as a substitute for the question paper button on your in your MockCat platform. Okay, so we'll start in a few seconds. So we'll start in a few seconds now. Yeah, let's start the paper. The first thing, as usual, I'll scan the paper. I have the PDF of the paper with me, and I will be looking at how many DI are there, how many RC, how many LR in the various section, and accordingly QA and VA will come by difference. So I'm scanning the paper when I'm looking at this first page. Okay, 12 to 15 is one set of RC, DI question 12 to 15 3. Then 25 to 27 another set of DI, two sets of DI. Nothing else in the next few pages, and 45 to 47. So three sets of DI which are totaling to 9 questions and no DS at all, which means this is heavy on the quant part, and 41 questions of quant. I'll need to make sure I attempt more of quant. And okay, let me go to the VLR. Okay, 54, 55 is one set of LR. Then 56 to 59 is one RC. 4 questions. Then we have a set of fill in the blanks, which is good news for me. Question 60 to 64, 65 to 68, another set of RC, so another 4 questions of RC. 69 to 71, another set of LR, so 5 or 6 questions of LR by till now. 72 to 74 RC, which is 3 questions, so 11. 75, 76 is an LR set, 3 sets of LR, and 79 is a single question of LR. It's a table, so this again another single question of LR. Anything else in LR? 83 to 86, 4 sets of RC. Okay. 88 to 91, another set of RC. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 RC sets till now. 88 to 91. Then we have syllogisms, etc. Another question 95. Yeah, it appears to be an LR question. So about 9 to 10 questions of LR. 5 sets, about 15 to 16 questions of RC. So 25, about 35 questions of VA. Okay, so heavy on the quant, heavy on VA. 25 odd questions of VA. So 25. Okay, so this means I'll need to make sure, because there less of LR, I'll need to make sure I attempt more of RC. By and large, I'll stick to my time limit of 80 minutes out here and 90 minutes out here. But let's see, as we go along, I may change it. Let's quickly go to VA first. Question number 51 was the first one, so it should be somewhere around here. Okay, no, it is not here. 42, so question 51. Okay, question 50. Question 51. Let's start. This is the VA question, so should not be a problem. That is correct, incorrect in terms of grammar and usage, then choose the most appropriate option. I think we have chosen to invest our money in the wrong option, since the view from this apartment is not nearly as spectacular as that from the mountain lodge. So C is definitely incorrect. So choice A is incorrect. C is here, C is here, C is here. Okay. What about the others? So it is either A. Okay, we have a B and E also. So we will get the view from this apartment is not nearly as spectacular, not nearly as this appears to be. Okay, what about E? D and E, that is D is not important, but let me look at E. After paying through the note, I ain't expected to forego any pleasure after paying through the nose for this vacation. I don't find anything wrong out here. I don't find anything wrong out here. So that means this also should be incorrect. That means A has to be the one I have to look at. I think we have chosen to invest our money in the wrong option. Wrong option sense. Appears to be okay. I don't see anything wrong with this. So I'll go ahead with choice A. Next question. Another question of grammar. Okay, the placement of this, select the correct answer by, okay, underlining part. The whining noises that dogs make, although most people think that dogs whine because they are not content, is actually involuntary and not related to the with the emotion of the dog. Okay, there's structurally something incorrect out here. So okay, we go through the choices first. In any case, the original statement. So I will not read it, but quickly let's glance. Yes, it's same, that dogs whine because they are not content. Actually involuntary and is not directly to the emission of the cat. Okay, this in any case is incorrect. Choice B. Although most people think that dogs whine because they are not content, the whining noise of a dog is actually involuntary and is not directly related with the emotion of the dog. Okay, this seems to be okay, but let's look at the others also, and let me look at the choice C. Most think that dogs whine because they are not content. The whining noise of a dog is actually involuntary and is not directly related to the emotion of the dog. So this is related to the emotion, related with the emotion. The rest of the things are the same. Let's look at the third choice, the last choice. Although most people think that dogs whine because they are not content, is actually involuntary. This is missing out on few things. So choice D has to be incorrect and not directly. So the answer is either B or C, is not directly related with the emotion or to the emotion. It is not connected with the to. To is the normal usage, so I will go with choice C. Okay. Another question of usage, which is on paragraph, completes the paragraph. So para completion question. Basically, birds' wings are not flat but are shaped like an aerofoil, concave. Air passes over or under the wing as the bird moves forward or as the wind blows. The air that moves over the top of the wing has further to travel to get across the wing, thus it speeds up. This causes pressure to drop because the same amount of air is exerting its pressure over greater area. Therefore, at any given point, any given point experiences less pressure. This effectively sucks the wing up. Meanwhile, the air going below the wing experiences the opposite effect. So what we should have here is the opposite effect or the output. Hence the bird, choice A, hence a bird with air moving over its tongue is pulled up from above and pushed up from below. Could be correct. I am not eliminating it because it is taking the thought forward. Choice B, the more curved the aerofoil, the greater the lift. This is incorrect on account of continuity because this should have come much earlier. Okay. Choice C, it slows down, generates more pressure and effectively pushes the wing up. It slows down. What slows down? Meanwhile, the air going below the wing experiences the opposite. So the wind slows down, generates more pressure and effectively pushes the wing up. This also could be correct because it says the air below experiences opposite effect. Okay. Choice D, this is the resistance the air gives to anything passes through, not connected, out of scope. So incorrect. What is it? A or C? Okay, A is giving me a conclusion. Actually, when I look at the two, meanwhile, air going below the wing has the opposite effect, and this explains that effect, and hence this should come after the explanation of the effect has been come. So, choice C should be the correct answer. Okay, question 54-55, a question of LR. arrangement, let me note it down separately on a sheet of paper. So this is LR 5455. Okay. And arrangement questions, two questions of arrangements, appears to be simple, would like to come back and attempt. Okay, then we have 56 to 59 is RC. What kind of RC is this? Psychiatrist. Lecture, talk, psychiatrist. Now, the moment I look at psychiatry, it becomes an issue for me. Okay, Scandinavia, prophet with honor. Okay, 3, 4. Long passage. How many questions are there? Question 56, 9, 4 questions. 4 slides. Okay, and psychiatry or something similar was there. Not something that I am very happy with, but let me come back to it later after I have decided what to do with the other sets. Okay, 60 to 64, fill in the blanks. I have to attempt this one. The narrow creek was like and dash torches fairly deep, filled with gloom under thin strip of pure shining blue of the heaven. Torches fairly deep. Maze, isle, snag, abyss. It has to be abyss because it's talking about fairly deep. Otherwise, maze also could have been the answer, but isle definitely doesn't fit in. Snag not. Abyss because it's talking about torches fairly deep, filled with gloom, etc. etc. Okay, so abyss. Immense trees soared up invisible behind the dash draperies of creeper. Behind the grotesque draperies of creeper, the shaded or secure. Shaded, I'm not sure, but I'm not sure about the word festooned. So let me just leave this and come back to it and let me see if I can get the answer after looking at the others. The third one, the short words of the paddlers dashed loud and clear between the thick and somber walls of vegetation. The short words of paddlers howled, short words howled clear in between. Okay, emblazoned, no, reverberated, babbled. It should be reverberated. Babbling is not there. Howl in any case is not the right answer. Okay, D. Darkness dashed from between the trees through the tangled maze of creepers. From behind, the great fantastic and unstirring leaves. Darkness peered, darkness peaked, darkness dashed not possible, darkness mired not possible. So darkness peered out of the great, out from between the trees, or darkness, not sure, but let me come back to it later. E. Okay. Saying leaves the darkness, mysterious and invisible. The darkness scented and poisonous of the dash forest. Okay, we are talking about mysterious, invincible, the darkness. Okay, so it cannot be bountiful. Mystical could be the one. Haunted, not really. Impenetrable, yes, it could be impenetrable. So let me just look at this one again. Darkness peeked or peered out from between the trees through the tangled maze of creepers from behind the great fantastic and the unstirring leaves. The darkness, mysterious and invincible. The darkness scented and poisonous of the appears to be, I would go with impenetrable rather than mystical, because overall when I look at the earlier part also it talks about thick somber walls of vegetation. Okay, so it's something which is difficult to, and the B I am still not sure, so I'll leave this one. What about D? Darkness peered or peaked? Peered looks better, so I'll go ahead with this, but I'm taking a small chance. It could be peaked also, but I think it should be peered. Okay, 60 to 64, this was a good one for me. Question 65 to 68 is the next RC set. This is how Oxford, Cambridge, American universities. Looks like an easy call. Okay, some about universities in US and UK. So 65 to 68, 2 slides, 3 slides. Okay, 3 slides long. About universities appears to be easy to read. This is something which I would want to possibly attempt. So 4 questions and something which I may want to attempt. Okay. Next, look at 65 to 68. We have now 69. 69 to 71 is an LR set. Large amount of data, 1 to 8 statements, and this is ABCD arrangement, disposal, guns. It's some kind of an arrangement question again, or some matching bit. It is somewhat mathematical in nature also, because we have this one equal to this divided by this, so mathematical also, but could be difficult because it has got 8 statements, so large amount of data. Okay, we'll come back to this later. Okay, 72 to 74 RC. 3 questions. Keats, what's Keats? Poetry, literature, not my favorite area, but let's go further. Ongoing is associated with kind of symmetry group. Stewart, okay. Mathematician. So Keats and mathematician, something is there. So 3.5 slides for 3 questions, and I'll just write Keats for this thing. I am not happy with literature per se, so I may not be keen on doing it. But let's look at the other passages before I decide. 75 to 76. Okay, 75, 76 is LR. 5 persons, 5 cars, 1 color to be attempted in round 2 definitely. Again, arrangement and colors of cars. Okay, 2 questions. Okay, not too much of data, so can be attempted. Question 77, let's look at attempting this. In these times of fiscal correctness, it is hearsay to call for expansionary fiscal policy to revive the economy. However, sound economics underpins such a prescription, even if it sounds like the wild cry of a slumstock corporate bothered by only its own bottom line. Which of the following, if true, would lend support to the author's view on fiscal policies? This is the author's view. He says even though it is against the commonly or the normal expected thing from people, or this is what should be done. So sound economics underpins that such a prescription. That means prescription expansionary fiscal policy to revive the economy. Okay. Which of the following, if true, would lend support to the author's view? In the past, most governments have adopted a conservative attitude in face of economic slump. This does not support the author's view. It actually does not even giving me anything opposing it also. So incorrect. Choice B, expansion. It is actually not connected because it is not giving me what happened in such a case. Choice B, expansionary fiscal policy would be welcomed by business houses that have been overwhelmed by this. They would be welcoming it. It does not matter. Is it the right thing to do? Is what I am looking at. Okay. Some data to support such an action. Choice C, expansionary fiscal policy leading to more expenditure would revive a depressed economy and help achieve fiscal goals. This could be correct. So more expenditure will revive the economy and which will help achieve fiscal goals. Choice D, sound economics suggests that increasing fiscal expenditure during depression would raise import bill. No, this is going against the view. So choice D is incorrect. The correct answer is choice C. Question 78. Easy imports of goods and services spurred by free trade policies introduce goods of various types and quality into the domestic economy. The consumer, instead of the government, gets the right to choose or reject a foreign product. By treating imports and domestic goods at the same level, the government encourages competition, which is essential to improve productivity and lower cost, both in turn being essential to improve the plight of the poor. Which of the following would strengthen the case for free trade? Anything which helps support data, gives me supporting data to improving the productivity or improving the plight of the poor or the lowering of costs would be the answer. Choice A, consumers are likely to opt for imported products because they are superior quality. Incorrect. Choice B, domestic producers who enjoy lower cost of production have an edge over producers. Again, this is not connected to the strengthening of the case of free trade. For strengthening of the case free trade, I need some data which supports this part. Choice C, countries that have implemented free trade policies have seen massive decline in poverty and overall improvement in living condition of all citizens. That should be the correct answer, but let's look at the last one. Consumers are unlikely to increase their level of expenditure because of introduction. Again, not connected. Correct answer has to be choice C. Question 79 is a LR question. We'll look at it in round 2. Okay. 80, another question of verbal logic. The TV entertainment industry is evolving, and with its attitude towards research, the industry is moving away from its chaotic roots in the direction of increased professionalism. TV software companies that once consisted of no more than scripts, studios and salesmanship are now proper corporate entities with access to formal sources of funding. Instead of entrepreneurs leading by instinct, you are getting professionals with MBA degrees and experience in established companies. Which of the following statement, if true, would weaken the author's claim of increased professionalism? So increased professionalism is based on this chaotic roots. There are no proper corporate entities with access to formal sources of funding, and we have professional MBAs with experience in. Okay, let's look at the choices. We need to see what will weaken the author's claim. Author's claim is it is evolving and it is becoming professional. Choice A, artists working on TV shows are paid on contractual basis and they are not very loyal to their producer. This does not weaken or strengthen. This is not connected, I would say, as such. Choice B, banks and financial institutions are wary of lending money to TV producers as these producers are unable to furnish necessary documents. Now, this is what the author had said. Formal sources of funding. If formal sources of funding is not happening, then it is likely to weaken the author's case. So, choice B could be an answer. Choice C, many management graduates who have opted for career in television are satisfied with this, not connected at all. Choice D, quite a few television producers see industry as an avenue for making quick money. They see industry as an avenue for making quick money could be not be the answer, but I am also not very sure about B. A and C are definitely incorrect. Okay. I'm inclined towards B, but let me just look at it once again. Banks and financial are wary of lending money to TV producers as these producers are unable to furnish necessary. So formal funding is not happening out here. Seeing industry as an avenue for making quick money, does it? Let me leave this question, I am not sure. Question 81. With the advent of mobile phones last year, the number of automobile accidents has increased. Talking on the mobile phone distracts drivers and hence causes accidents. All the following could be used to weaken the above argument. Okay, talking on the mobile phone distracts drivers and causes accident. What can weaken the argument? Choice A, the number of cars on the roads has increased drastically. Yes, this can weaken the argument. All of the following can weaken the argument except. So we want to find out the one which will strengthen the argument. Okay. Choice B, radio stations have aired some very interesting programs during last year and many drivers report that they often get distracted by such programs. This also could weaken the argument between the accident could happen not because of mobile phone, because the number of cars have increased or because the number of radio programs, interesting programs have gone up. So choice A and B cannot be the answer because both of them can actually weaken the argument. Due to poor maintenance, choice C, road conditions have worsened significantly over the last year. This again will weaken the argument. Okay. Choice D, most of the mobile phones are sold to people who drive for at least 4 hours every day. So mobile phones are sold to people who drive a lot. Hence, this is not going to weaken the argument. This is going to strengthen the argument. So the answer should be choice D. 82. Granted, we all need self-confidence and good self-image. However, when confidence turns to conceit, people invite the probable downfall. Some ideologists train their pupils to develop an unjustified adulation of their own personal judgment, causing whole societies to collapse from ideologies that nurture internal thought and conceit. Which of the following statement best captures the problem mentioned in the paragraph again? Let me read the paragraph again because I am not very comfortable with it. Granted, we all need self-confidence and good self-image. However, when confidence turns to conceit, people invite downfall. Some ideologists train their pupils to develop an unjustified adulation of their own personal judgment, causing whole societies to collapse in ideologies that nurture internal thought and conceit. Okay, what is the problem? The problem is that people have conceit and they are not being trained or properly to be able to handle them. Okay, which leads to societies to collapse. Okay, choice A. We can be impartial in one area of our lives and plagued by prejudice is not connected out of scope. Choice B. It takes wrenching experience to tear away from our own thought. Again, that is not the issue out here. How difficult it is not the issue. People have difficulty recognizing thought conceit in themselves. Does not look like the answer. But let me just go through the next one also. Not all educators teach respect for self-discipline and humility. People have difficulty recognizing conceit, thought conceit. However, when people invite the people. Okay. So the focus has to be between C and D. I'll go for D because some ideologists train their pupils to develop an unjustified adulation. So if they don't train them in this, but they give them the right inputs, it will not be an issue. So most probably, though not 100% sure, I will go with choice D. Okay, 83 to 86, Jawaharlal Nehru, RC Passage. What is this all about? Agriculture, living industry. Okay, as Singh sees it. Okay, on agriculture should not be an issue. Agriculture, Jawaharlal Nehru, in general, history and newspaper is something which I'm comfortable with. So 2 slides, 2.5, short passage also not very long, 2.5 odd slides, and 83 to 86, so 4 questions. Another passage which, along with the university's passage, which I would want to attend. Okay, I'm ambivalent at this point of time with the psychiatry passage and the Keats passage. There is one more passage which I will look at when it comes. Question 87, a question of LR, again I am leaving it separately. Okay, so we'll look at separately when I come to 87. 88 to 91 is RC passage again, and the simulcron chess. Okay, James Bond films, chess. So it is all about chess. So there's something about Boris Fischer, Spassky match. Okay, great. So something which I can look at attempting. 88 to 91. This is 4 questions again. How many slides? 2, almost 3 slides. Another passage we have. So out of the 5 passages which we have, I would attempt the university, agriculture, and the chess passages, and then look at anything else. If I have time, I look at doing anything more. Okay. Okay. Syllogisms, logical reasoning. In the following question, the main statement is followed by 4 statements A, B, C, D. Choose the ordered pair of statements where the first statement implies the second and the 2 statements are logically consistent with the main statement. First and the okay. She wears red and blue only if she wears them together. So she has to wear both of them together or she will not wear any of them. Let's look at the choices straight away. AC. She did not wear red. She did not wear blue. So she wears, okay, this is logically consistent, but let me look at the other choice also. A, B, she did not wear that, she wore that, this is in any case illogical. A, D, she did not wear that, she wore pink, not connected, pink has got nothing to do with this. Choice D also should be incorrect because it has got that pink item. So in any case, the correct answer has to be choice A. Question 93. Identify whether the 3 sentences in each of these sets are logically related. Okay. Scientists are eccentric, choice A, statement A. Some scientists are not friends, some eccentrics are friends. Some scientists are not friends, some eccentrics are friends. Can I logically connect them? I am not sure. Let me look at the other one. Choice B, statement B. A platypus lays eggs. Platypus is a mammal. All mammals lay eggs? No, it should have been some mammals lay eggs. So statement B is not logically connected, so this should be incorrect. Choice B. What about C? Platypus is a mammal. Some mammals can swim. A platypus cannot swim. Some mammals I cannot say, so choice C also should be incorrect. Statement C should be incorrect. So this is incorrect. Hence choice A is also incorrect. So let's see the last statement now. ACs are used by everyone in summer. Our skin needs to be cold in summer. ACs are used to provide cold. No, I cannot say. ACs are used, but they could be providing something else apart from being providing us coolness. So choice D also is, statement D is incorrect. So this should also be incorrect. Correct answer has to be none of the above. Another question of syllogisms. In the following question, set of 6 statements is given, followed by 4 answer choices. Each answer choice has a combination of 3 statements from the given 6 statements. Identify in which the choices statements are logically related. I will straight away go to the choices out here and read only those. A, B, C. Some captains are not dopers. Some dopers are honest. All captains are not honest. Some, all does not make sense. We are talking about some and some. A, B, C should not be the correct answer because when you have a some, all, some should be followed typically with a sum only. So A, B, C does not make sense to me, but I'll come back to it if I don't find any of the others to be correct. B, C, E. B says some dopers are honest, all captains are not honest. So some dopers are honest, some dopers are, B says some dopers are honest, C says all captains are not honest. So all captains are not honest. All captains are not honest, that means there has to be, captains have to be only out here or here. And B, C, E. All dopers may be captains. Again, some or no, incorrect out here. This is definitely incorrect. A, B, D. Choice C. Some captains are not dopers. Some dopers are honest. And D. Some honest are not captain. Yeah. I'm not sure, I'll have to make it, but let me quickly look at choice D also. FCB. Some dopers are captains, some dopers are honest. Sorry, some dopers are captains, all captains are not honest. Okay, and B says some dopers are honest. Some dopers are captains, some dopers are captains, and that is statement F. C says all captains are not honest. Okay. All captains are not honest. So all captains are not honest, that means there should be something like this form, not honest. All captains are not honest, and B will be some dopers are honest. Some dopers are honest. I can't say. So this is incorrect. So let me go back to choice A and C. Let me look at C first. C, some dopers, all captains are not honest. So all captains are not honest. Okay. So all captains are not honest. Let me just remove this. This is not honest. I think I've just messed this up. Let me just erase this and do it again. I have to look at choice A and choice C. A, B, D. Some captains are not dopers. Some captains are not dopers. Some captains are, and we have dopers. So some captains are not dopers. Something has to be here. B says some dopers are honest. Some dopers are honest. So some dopers are honest. Okay, okay. Some captains are not dopers, so some captains are not dopers. There has to be there. Some B says some dopers are honest, so some dopers are honest. This should be occupied. And D says some honest are not captain. Some honest are not captain. Okay. I'm not sure. I will just skip this one. I think I wasted sufficient time, so let me move on. 95 is another question of LR, which I'll look at later. Okay. 96. Choose the one that does not fit the sequence. As it approaches 67P/C/G, Philae will fire a set of harpoons and tether itself to the frozen surface. Launched 10 years ago, Rosetta took a serpentine path through the solar system as it raced to catch the speeding target, Comet 67P. Okay, this is the same. Okay, but this is Philae and this is Rosetta. Okay, moving at a speed of 1,35,000 square. The Rosetta is a European Space Agency interplanetary explorer tasked with uncloaking secrets hidden in the comets. So B and C are definitely connected. Okay. D says after a 6.4 billion kilometer journey, the probe will be pulled into the orbit around the oddly shaped 67 early August and stick through the end of 2015. So B, C are connected. Let me just go through this. What about whether A or D? I would be inclined towards D being connected, but let me read it. Rosetta is an interplanetary task with this thing. Okay. Launched 10 years ago. It took a serpentine path and moving at 135,000 kilometers per hour. After 6.4 billion journey, it will orbit the oddly spin and will stick through the end. And this is talking about Philae. So okay, I will go with A not being connected, B, C, D are connected, or rather B, D, C. Sorry, C, D, B could possibly going to be the correct combination. 4 sentences given below. Of these 3 need to be arranged logical. Again, choose the one that does not fit into the. We envision foggy scene with a dinosaur towering over the trees and light. We found out very quickly that it's not easy to transport a 50-foot long awkward shaped creature even if it is in 8 pieces. Choice C. After many weeks of searching for exactly the right combination of elements, Mike found the perfect parking lot at a golf course outside Chicago. Should it be a small bank parking lot or that of a big box store? C and D should be connected. Both of them talking about some kind of a parking lot. They are trying to search for a parking lot. So C, D have to be connected. What about A, B? We envisioned foggy scene with a dinosaur towering over lights, trees and lights. We found out very quickly that it's not easy to transport. This is talking about transportation. This is talking about parking. So possibly this should be the B should be the answer. But with the A, can I connect A? C, D definitely there. Most probably B should not be the answer. I'll go with B. Not 100% sure. But I think B should be the answer because C and D are talking about parking while B is talking about transportation, and we envisioned a foggy scene with dinosaur towers. So a parked dinosaur towering over trees and lights could be the connection, but as I said, not 100% sure. Okay, question of summary. That all sounds good enough, but people are easy to deceive, says Ernie Davis, a computer scientist at New York University. We are used to the safe assumption that whoever is talking to us is actually an intelligent person, so human officials will likely to give computer the benefit of doubt. Additionally, chatbots often mask their lack of reasoning by coming across as merely scatterbrained. For example, futurists ask Eugene, if I have 2 marbles in a ball, add 2 more, how many marbles are in the ball now? Not too many, Lord Eugene. I can't tell you the exact number, I forgot it. If I am not mistaken, you still need to tell me where you live. In this way, the Turing test doesn't foster development of machines with adaptive human level smarts, okay? Instead, it exposes our own gullibility and spawns programs whose latest innovations the tactical use of snarky, non sequiturs and manipulators. I'm not very comfortable with the paragraph, but let me go through the choices. Choice A. The fact that chatbots like Eugene are smart and can guile officiants into believing they are merely scatterbrained in order to mask their lack of reasoning leads us to believe that Turing test lacks capability to foster development of machines. Okay. Choice B, the Turing test has been shown to be completely useless given that computers who have been able to put to the test try and play on a gullibility by acting scatterbrained when not being able to answer logical questions. This is incorrect. It has not been shown. It is just saying it is not. Okay. It is completely useless. I am not sure. Also, I am not comfortable with the rest of the part. Okay. There is no need to replace the Turing test since it fails to fulfill its agenda of fostering development of adaptive machines and instead only serves to expose the gullibility of humans by assuming it serves to expose gullibility of humans by assuming they are talking to it. No, this seems incorrect. Choice C seems incorrect. Let me just quickly look at the passage again. Instead, it exposes our own gullibility and spawns programs. Choice BC most probably is incorrect. Okay, let me just look at the next one. Eugene is an example of how easy it is to deceive people and how machines take advantage of this fact to wriggle out of their way. I think absent-minded. Machines, not sure. Let me just skip this one. 99. Parajumble. Now a new study has identified the tissue and chemical changes that stir up the problem, a finding that could lead to novel drug treatments. It can be life-threatening. What can be life-threatening has to be found out. Like life-threatening too, when it is a part of sleep apnea. This disorder can be life-threatening, so BC could come together, in which breathing stops many times at a night can detonate dangerous cardiovascular stress. But scientists have long puzzled over why we should respond so fiercely to dips in oxygen supply. Snoring is not just a recipe for marital discord, it can be life threatening too. Okay, so EB have to be together is what I would look at. EB, snoring is not just recipe, it can also be life threatening. Okay, this disorder, so EB has to be together. Where we don't have EB, I would like to eliminate those choices. EB. Okay, so EB, so that means the correct answer should be choice B. But let me read the statements in the sequence. E, B, C, D, can be life-threatening. C, this disorder, it can be life-threatening. This disorder, breathing stop many times can detonate. Okay, B, C, D. But scientists have long puzzled. This is a disorder. Why we should respond so fiercely to dips? Now a new study has identified. Okay, the correct answer has to be choice. 100. Para jumble again. Wonder is marvelous, but it could also be cruel. We have paid a terrible price for our education such as it is. Of course, wonder is costly because it is the antithesis of anxiously worshipped security. The Magian worldview forms the core of our contemporary education system. We have educated ourselves into a worldview from which wonder has been banished. D and E have to be together. The Magian worldview, okay. D and E have to be together. The Magian worldview forms the core of a contemporary education system, and we have educated ourselves into a worldview from which wonder has been banished. So D, E, where are they together? So D is here. It is ED. Okay, let me see if that is possible or not. DE, DE. So this is incorrect. Okay. B also should come. We have paid a terrible price for our education as it is. So I would go BDE have to be together. We have paid a terrible price for education. Okay. So the Magian worldview forms this thing, and we have educated ourselves into it. Okay. Okay, so BDE should be together. BDE is here. BDE is not here. BD is here. So what is it? AC will come first or will it end? So BD is the same thing. Of course. No, CA has to come in the end. A and C have to come after BDE. So BDE, CA. Okay. Now that I have done the LR part, let me quickly go to the RC passages. The RC passage which I shortlisted was the university one, then agriculture and chess. Let me go to the university passage first. I will look at, it was question number 65, university was 65 to 68. So let me go to this. Yeah, let me read the passage. With the prospect of dwindling state funds, our leaders of Oxford and Cambridge face the question of how many people beneath the city's during countries are below the dignity. How do you make a 820-year-old university? How do you market? Sorry. American universities have whole departments devoted to fundraising and marketing, but these have remained foreign to schools here. Both Oxford and Cambridge have new fundraising efforts underway. Fundraising is a topic we have to approach very carefully because it is not ingrained in the culture of these universities like it is in the United States, says Francis Cairncross, rector of Exeter College in Oxford. There is a shift taking place, but it will take time. Oxford has hired a fundraiser from a North American university who will start work in October, and later this year the University of Cambridge will hold a public kickoff of its largest capital campaign pegged to its 800th anniversary in 2009. For all their prestige and fame, cashing on their brand name will take more than a simple campaign, according to John Bernstein, director of London consulting firm Enterprise IG. While they are both among the most prestigious educational institutions in the world, their amateur communication effort gave totally mixed responses to the alumni, said Mr. Bernstein, a graduate of Queen's College, Cambridge. As it stands, I can never understand who's asking for money and for what. To eliminate confusion, both universities should establish a master plan, Mr. Bernstein said. The key brand weakness is that there is very little identifying the universities as a single entity. Sports unite universities in the US, but the only events that unite Cambridge as a whole are rugby game and the rowing race. The result, Bernstein said that he receives requests for money from his college, the university, and from individual faculties. There is no streamlined message or economy of scale in the setup. Strong brands stand out from the clutter, but this does the opposite. Officials from both universities agree that fundraising efforts must somehow overcome the decentralized manner in the universities in which the universities have been all run. Individual colleges where spend most of the time and to which they hold strong allegiance seem to compete in fundraising against the university itself. The university receives money for services like Faculty of English or Faculty of Chemistry, Department of Chemistry. Alumni confusion about whether to give in to their college or university is something we are actively addressing now, says Anila, fundraising campaign manager for University of Cambridge. Our message is that giving to your college or university as a whole is great, but both count towards the capital campaign. The university is working closely with colleges to simplify the message, Ms. Sherberg said. This is unprecedented and we will bring unprecedented results. Hope. Okay. Traditionally, college will raise money for buildings, scholarships and perhaps restoration of a chapel, and the industry will raise money for such things as new law department building and new chair of chemistry and scholarships. Now we have narrowed down it to 4 objectives. We want money for investing in students, investing in staff, investing in discovering creativity, and investing in our great collections. Even over at Oxford, fundraising has also become a higher priority, formally undertaken by a director of development who answered to the college registrar. Fundraising has been raised to the level of pro-vice chancellor, answering directly to the university's top executives or the vice chancellor. Top executive, the vice chancellor. Okay, let's go to the questions. Reason behind many people in the city may feel that the new drive towards fundraising is below their dignity. They feel money is important. No, not important. They feel money can be utilized, better utilized in other areas. No. They feel that such esteemed universities do not need to seek material gains. This should be the answer, but let's look at the last one. They feel that dependence on foreign aid will rob universities out of scope completely. The correct answer has to be C. It can be inferred that Brimster's comment about the problems plaguing the branding efforts made by the colleges is based on he was a student. So his for Queen's College, if I remember correctly, his dialogues, no, it is his experience as an alumnus. But let's look at the others also. His agency's involvement, no. D says A and B. His dialogue with ex-students, no. Nothing in the passage says about ex-students, so it is his experience as an alumnus. 67. The reason for confusion among alumni about whether to give the college or the university is probably that alumni receive requests from college, the university, and from individual faculty. This is what happened to Mr. Bernstein, so this could be the answer. Choice B, alumni have strong affiliation to their college but are expected to support the college, other colleges. No, they are not expected to support, that has not come out anywhere, so B has to be incorrect. Alumni do not support the decentralized, they are confused, they do not support has not come in. Their strong affiliation to own colleges definitely there, but they do not support decentralized manner is not something which I would go with. A fundraiser from a North American university has been hired. No, this cannot be the answer. Yeah, correct answer has to be choice A. What does the underlined word in the given sentence mean in the context of the passage? With the prospect of dwindling state funds. Dwindling state funds mean decreasing state funds. But let me just go back to the passage. I think it was right at the beginning of the passage. So with the prospect of dwindling state funds, there is, yeah, decreasing state funds coming down. So correct answer here has to be choice D. Okay. So 65 to 68 has been completed. Let me go now to the agriculture passage, questions 83 to 86. 83 to 86. Okay, so 80 plus 20 in 98. Okay, let me, should be somewhere. No. Go to slide further. Okay, 83 to 86. Okay. Question 83 to 86, the RC passage on agriculture. Let me read this quickly. Jawaharlal Nehru had once described agriculture as India's greatest living industry, yet 60 years after independence, the country is slowly coming to grips with the effects of having neglected agriculture all these years. Addressing a recent seminar on agriculture, situation was alarming. The 10th 5-year plan seemed India would grow by 4% every year, but the reality is, in the first 3 years of the passage, we have not been able to ensure even 1.5% growth rate, he said. As Singh and his top team see it, if India has to grow by 7 to 8%, the agriculture has to grow faster. After all, despite all industrial development, 3% of jobs, 2 out of 3 earn okay. Situation of the ground is alarming. Around 10% of India's farming households are landless. 10% are landless. 67% own less than 1 hectare, and 11% have 1 to 2 hectares land. Yields have been stagnant. Okay, these are the problems. Okay. Remain again, mechanization low, so is the use of farm inputs. Okay, fixing all this is not easy, but in the last 1 year, Manmohan Singh's government has put comprehensive reforms needed. Managing such a systemic change on such a huge scale is daunting, especially when agriculture is a safe subject. The changes are far too many and far too big, complex to be addressed in a single go. One big factor hobbing Indian farmers is the 7,000 strong mandi system. The large agriculture produce markets that have aggregated and now dispatched grains, fruits, vegetables, and this from farms to towns for ages now. A big effort is on to develop an alternate mechanism that will connect farmers more effectively to markets. Competition, it is hoped, will discipline the old mandi system, also give farmers their due share. But mere efficiency won't help. Today, most Indian farmers don't think enough about what the market wants before they choose their crops. Okay, the government is therefore also trying to bring in a new market orientation. Its new national horticulture mission and its focus on high value agriculture is a part of the drive. Opening up foreign direct investment in retail will also allow big retailers to deal with the farms directly. All these big shifts require huge investments in building hard and soft infrastructure, something that the government alone is in no position to bear. The Prime Minister has already talked about replacing publicly funded R&D in agriculture and rural infrastructure with new private participation model, but the private sector will not step in until the larger environment itself is conducive to functioning smoothly. This is why a more favorable environment is being created, largely through an overall antiquated laws. Today, there is renewed optimism among private sector firms. In the next 2 to 3 years, most people reckon a lot of these changes will begin to fall in place, and this could once again kickstart a new cycle of investment and growth in India's greatest living industry. Okay, let's look at the questions now. Why is agriculture being a state subject mentioned in the passage? To showcase one of the many problems the agriculture faces, state subject was mentioned in the passage. Yes, it was, but I don't remember exactly where. So let me quickly go and see where it is mentioned. Not on this one. Especially when agriculture is a state subject. Okay. So that means it is not in fully control with the central government. Okay. To showcase one of the many problems agriculture faces, state subjects are usually considered unimportant. No, it is not about being unimportant. To show the lack of national agenda has forced to find local issues with various states, again not connected. Choice C, to indicate some of the practical problems related to implementation. Could be the answer, because if it is a state subject, that is not fully in control with the government, with the central government. To ensure the reader understands the depth of the problem. No, not really. I will go with choice C. It can be inferred that National Horticulture Mission intends to encourage farmers to produce high value crops. Possibly yes, because that is what it has talked about. Helps farmers sell. No, they can sell only when they produce. They are not producing the right one. So right now B cannot be the answer. Remove the Mandi system from buying. No, not. Mandi system was to removal, or there was not the question of removal, or it was creating an alternative mechanism or a parallel mechanism. Encourage farmers is against the grain of the passage, so the correct answer has to be choice A. Which of the following can be inferred from the passage? The private sector is very keen to enter agriculture sector. It is very keen to enter. It is, I'm not sure, and has made rapid inroads in the sector. No, it has not. I don't think so, but let me still check out. Okay. Private sector will not step in on the contrary till larger problems are rectified. So A cannot be the answer. Choice B. The Mandi system is not efficient and adds to the problem faced by farmers. Yes, this is correct. Choice C. Let's check out. The government over the last 6 years have completely neglected agriculture, and this has led to the situation prevalent today. It has not over the last 60 years. I cannot be sure. It may, had it been last few years, I may have looked at it. So choice C cannot be the answer. None of the above. Mandi system is not efficient is very clear. Choice B becomes the answer. 86. What is the author trying to convey by using the word systemic in the passage? Systemic, there was this word, let me just go back. Systemic, not there in the first slide if I remember. Okay. Let me just see. It's not easy, manuals and government is daunting. All these big ships require. I can't find the word systemic, but let me just look at the choices. I have an understanding of what the word means. Systemic means something which is ingrained into the system per se. So dominated by governmental system, not really. It is integrated network of processes. That could be the answer. Slow moving and gradual, incorrect. Related closely to manufacturing, again is incorrect. It has to be either A or B. So systemic changes are required. That means you have to change the processes. I will go with choice B. Okay, I'm taking a small chance because I have not been able to relocate the word, but that completes the second passage also. And let me go to the last passage, the one on chess. Okay. Chess has always been a simulation for political and military confrontation with its gambits and endgames, stalemates and checkmate. We imagine diplomats or generals facing each other across the board. The game has been internationally popular for more than 2 centuries, but like the literary genre of the spy thriller, it came on its own in the Cold War. To take one of the many examples, the opening scene of one of the first James Bond films, From Russia with Love, is a chess match between two grandmasters, and in real life it was Fischer-Spassky match of 72, where an eccentric American genius smashed 25 years of Soviet chess hegemony that marked the beginning of the end of Cold War. Chess provided a mega metaphor for the psychological war, one that derived added significance from the game's important role in Soviet Communist society. The Russians might have lagged behind in military technology or economic competition, but over the chessboard they reigned supreme, a battlefield that for the first time in history was generally global could be metamorphically translated onto the 64 squares. Chess provided one of the safety walls that kept the lid on the Cold War, but how did chess come to play this role? Both symbol of the wall and its antithesis. And how does chess illuminate the process by which West triumphed over communism? The place of chess in European culture closely reflects the rise and fall of the educated elite, for whom it was recreation of choice. The story begins with the image that records one of the great encounters of modernity, a group portrait painted in 1856 by Moritz Daniel Oppenheim, which depicts three major figures of the 18th century thought: the dramatist Lessing, the Swiss divine Caspar Levanter, and the Jewish philosopher Moses Mendelssohn. The focus of the picture around which these ornaments of the Enlightenment are stationed is a chessboard. Lessing and Mendelssohn first met in 1754 after a mutual friend had recommended the latter to the already celebrated Lessing as a chess partner. It was a fateful meeting of two remarkable men, but also of two cultures. In Nathan the Wise, the play which proved to be author's most popular work, Lessing the Christian depicted and idealized Mendelssohn as Nathan, wise, enlightened, and Jewish. The progress of chess from pastime to artistic and scientific maturity was accelerated by Jewish assimilation, which transformed the German-speaking, whatever it is, or educated middle class of Mitteleuropa into agents of modernistic reform. The German Jewish symbiosis, doomed by any anti-Semitism, thought it proved to be provided the cultural context by which chess could become intellectual recreation par excellence. And from mid-19th century on, the extraordinary chess master, including most of the great world champions, have been Jews. Chess is a special case of more general phenomena. The higher than average IQ of Ashkenazic Jews of European origin, which begs many questions and still defies simple explanation. We do not know whether Jews had an inherent disposition to excel at chess or were attracted to the game because this intellectually demanding competitive sedentary sport fitted in the prevailing Jewish stereotype in 19th century Europe. We do not know. What we know is that Jared Abraham is identified as the chess mind, a combination of memory, logic, and imagination, has much in common with skills that were and are characteristic of Jewish intellectual life. Above all, the study of sacred text is conducive to a game on which more books have been written than on all others put together. The game of book seems to have a special appeal for the people of the book. Game of book, In Lessing's Nathan, chess is also depicted as a private passion of Saladin, the enlightened Muslim sultan who is checkmated by his sister Sita. For Lessing's cosmopolitan intellectuals, chess was a means to overcome prejudice, racial, national, or sexual. Excluding chance and hence discouraging gambling, chess was the only game worthy of this gentleman. Until 1987, it was the only game permitted within the Palace of Westminster. Question 88. The word simulacrum, this was there in mock 5 also, and then I was not sure of the meaning. Now I know that it means representation, but let me just look at the choices. The chess has always been a simulacrum of political and military confrontation. It has been a representation, not genesis. Choice C. Question 89. Author uses the example of Oppenheim's painting to highlight the fact paintings for which always feature chessboard. No, they were three people from different backgrounds. Chess was a common meeting ground. Yes, could be a common meeting ground. The elite always wanted to portray themselves as playing chess. Again, always wanted to portray, seems incorrect. Chess was the only game that represents politics of war and society in European art. No, not. It was a common meeting ground because there were three people from different backgrounds and cultures and religions, and hence that could be the answer. 90. As regards Jewish domination of chess, the author believes that it occurred because the Jews possessed the skills needed to master it. Did he know exactly? I think he said it's not very clearly known. Let me just look at that part again. Yeah. This part. Higher than. Which begs the question and still defies simpler explanation. We do not know whether Jews had an inherent disposition to excel at chess or were attracted to this. So why Jews started playing chess or why they did, it's not known. The author believes that occurred because Jews possessed the lifestyle of the Jews fitted a game such as chess. No, I don't think so. Jews had a inherent gift for chess. No, proved by the chess mind theory. No, the correct answer has been none of these because the author is very clearly saying we do not know the answer. There are some hints. 91. The instance of Saladin being checkmated by Sita shows chess overcame sexual prejudice could be the answer. Men playing chess with family members, I'm not sure, but let me just go back to and check out. Chess was a chosen method to settle arguments. Incorrect. Women chess players were exceptionally good. I don't think so, but let me just go back. It was right at the end of the passage, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Private passion of Saladin, the enlightened Muslim Sultan, who was checkmated by his sister. So, enlightenment means should not have any biases. Cosmopolitan intellectuals, chess was a means to overcome prejudices, religious, okay, overcoming prejudices. So, this is probably talking about sexual prejudices, wherein women are also allowed overcome sexual prejudices. Okay, so that completes this part. Let me now quickly go to it is 1 hour 50 minutes left. So that is 110 minutes. I have about 20 minutes to look at. LR, let me go to the first question 54, 55, which are there. Questions 54 to 55. Okay, 54, 55. Let me look at those two questions first. Okay. 5 aspiring ministers, Mr. Kallu Yadav, Mr. Lakshman Vilas, Mr. Tamram, S.M. Iyer and Mr. Tamalnath went to Ms. Sona Chandi to lobby the other important ministerial berths cabinets. Mrs. Sona Chandi asked these people to submit their individual preferences. Each of them submitted their 2 preferred ministerial berths as given in the table below. Okay, a ministry can be assigned to only one aspirant. So Kallu Yadav, okay. So you have railways twice, you have petroleum twice, you have steel twice, finance twice. So 5 ministries, each one of them has been given as 1 or 2 preferences by each one of them. Okay. From the above preference table, which of the 5 aspirants will definitely not get the ministry of his choice? Okay. What's the other one? If Kallu Yadav gets portfolio of railways and Tamalnath gets steel, which of the remaining aspirants will not get the ministry of his choice? I'll do this question first because this gives me additional data which will help me get to the answer first. If Kallu Yadav gets railways and Tamalnath gets steel, who will not get the ministry of choice? Iyer, okay, Kallu Yadav, railways and Tamalnath steel. Let me look at. So Tamalnath gets steel, okay, and Kallu Yadav gets railways. So railways and steel have gone. Anyone? Yeah. So Lakshman Vilas will not get his choice because both railways and steel have already been given, so he cannot get any of them. So Mr. Lakshman Vilas will not get the ministry of his choice. Let me go to the previous question now. Which of the 5 aspirants will definitely not get the ministry of his choice? Either of the 2 plans. Definitely not. That means there is no case which is possible when a person will get a ministry of his choice. So let me just erase it completely and start working again. So let me start here. If he gets railways, then it means steel will have to be here. If steel has to be with Lakshman Vilas, that means steel goes out completely and railways is out here. That means finance has to be here. If finance is here, then commerce has to be here. If commerce is here, so there is definitely one case in which everyone is getting either of the 2 preferences. Is that the question? Either of the 2 preferences. So there is at least one case. So I will say each one can get a ministry of his choice. Correct answer has to be choice D. That was good. 54, 55 done. Let me have a quick look at 69 to 71 and 75, 76. 69 to 71. I think that was that arrangement, huge amount of data. So I'm not sure if I want to do it, but let me just have a look at this in any case. '69 to 71. Yeah. I'm not very happy with this data. I think I'll skip this one. Let me look at the others. There was one arrangement of cars in color 75, 76. Let me look at the 75, 76 first. Yeah. A, B, C, D, E are 5 persons. Each one of them has exactly one car, and cars with no two of them are of the same color. The colors of the cars are grey, black, blue, red and green. The colors of A's cars is not grey, colors of D's cars is not blue, and colors of C's cars is red. Colors of E's car is neither black nor blue. Okay. Let's look at the question now. If color of B's car is not blue and color of E's car is not green, then which of the following statement will be sufficient to determine exact color? Okay. What is the next one? Which of the following will be sufficient to determine the exact color? Now, the difference between these two is here we are talking about all of them being about A, so that will be easier to work. Let me look at question 76 first because this is talking about all three of them together. Or this is talking about three different colors of A. So if I have to focus on A, it should get me the answer. So the five people are A, B, C, D, and E. And let me look at the colors of their cars also. Okay, so what were the colors? Grey, black, blue, red, green. So we have grey, black, blue, red, and green. Okay. Now the question, the data, there was some additional data. A is not grey and D is not blue. A is not grey and D is not blue. So A is not grey and D is not blue. Okay. Color of A's car is not grey, D is not blue. C is red and E is not black, not blue. C is red. So C has to be red. E is neither black nor blue. So E is neither black nor blue. So this is black. Okay. Now obviously that means this is not possible. Okay. Would be sufficient to determine the exact color. I hope I have the complete data. Color of A's car is blue. Okay. A's car is green. This is blue. This is green. And this is black. I hope I have the complete data. Okay. So out here, if I say A's car is blue, I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes filled up. A's car is green. How many boxes will get filled up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. A's car is black. Black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 2. So since green will give me the maximum blanks filled up, let me just check green first. So green means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Blue means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And black also, blue means, yeah. And black means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let me just check with green first. A's car is green. If A's car is green, that means, let me just change the color so that it will become easier for me. Fend in color. So let me just take it in yellow color now. Okay. So if A's car is green, that means this is not possible, this is not possible, this is not possible, this is not possible, this is not possible. So I have here done. Now among the remaining, okay, that means B's car should be blue. If B's car is blue, this goes out, this goes out. And again that means D's car should be black, this goes out, and this should be the one. So you have, this means E is grey, D is black, B is blue, C is red, and green is A. Okay, so the correct answer has to be this one. Let me just go back to my original color. Yeah, the key thing for me was I started with the item in which I'll be able to fill up the maximum number of boxes. Coming back to this one again. Again, let's look at making the table A, B, C, D, E. So the colors were grey, black, blue, red, green. So grey, black, blue, red, and green. Now, okay, let me just go back to the original data. A is not grey, D is not blue, A is not grey, D is not blue, and C was D is not blue. C is red, E is neither black nor blue. C is red, E is neither black nor blue. So let me just cross out the others also. Okay. Now the question says if the color of B's car is not blue and color of E's car is not green, the color of B's car is not blue. B is not blue. So B is not blue. And E is not green. E is not green. Very good. Which of the following statement would be sufficient to determine the exact color of the car of each of the mentioned person? So if E is not green, that means E has to be grey. Okay, so this also goes out. Okay. Now again, let me just change the color because I may need to check the choice, check the choices in color. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So again, if I say D's car is not grey. D's car is not grey. If D's car is not grey, that doesn't help me because we have already eliminated. So this green star is not grey, does not help us at all. C's car is not green. C's car is not green. C's car is not green is already known to us. So this also does not help us at all. Okay. So that means this also should be both A. Okay, both A and C. But A does not help us any. So this cannot be the answer. Most probably this is the answer. But let's check out. Color of B's car is not green. B is not green. So B is not green. That means B has to be here. Okay. That means this cannot be the things. So that means blue has to be. Yeah, blue has to be then. A has to be blue rather. Actually, we got that blue. We should have got that blue earlier itself. And this goes out and this goes out. So correct answer has to be choice C. Okay, correct answer choice C. So that completes one more set here. Now there are 3 individual questions, 77, 87 and 95. Let me look at both of them. All 3 of them rather. 77, no, that was, sorry, that 79 is what I had written. I'm sorry. Performance evaluation report, 108 minutes left. So let me just quickly look at doing these things. Otherwise, take extra 5 minutes for QA/DI. Performance appraisal report of a company in 6 parameters P1 to P5, sorry, P6 are considered for evaluation. Report of performance appraisal given below. P1 to P5, 10 employees. P2 to P6, 15. So, okay, so 5. Each one of them have 5. So 65. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 different ways. So in each one of them, 1 is missing. So first one P6 is missing, second one P1 is missing, third one P2 is missing, and so on and so forth. Number of employees who qualified in all 6 parameters is 10. Is 10. Okay. So how many employees find the number of employees? Exactly 5 parameters. Exactly 5 parameters. So 6. Should it be 60? So if I just add all of them, what do I get? 25, 45, 55, 65, 80. So this total adds up to 80. But if I add 6 also to this, or the missing item in each one of them, should they not each become 10? So can I not say P1 to P6 is equal to 10, but if I add P6 here, this becomes 10 minus 10. Yeah. Yes, this should be 0. So if I add P6 here, this should become 10. So this should, the excess out here is okay. Yeah. So the excess between, so P1 to P6, if I add all of them, this is exactly 10 people. So this is also 10. So that means all these 5 are a part of this, and so this should be 0, the difference out here. Here I have, if I add all of them, this is 10. but this is 15. That means there are 5 people who are not a part of P1 to P6. So this should be 5. This should be 10. This is 0, 5, 0. So 5, 10, 15, 5, 20. Correct answer should be 20. Okay. 79 done. 87 is the next one, and then 95. Let me quickly look at both of them also. 85, 87, sorry. There's a button inside an elevator in a complex with 20 floors marked 1 to 20. The elevator either goes 8 floors down or 13 floors up. So it is either -8 or +13 when a button is pressed, depending on the availability of enough floors to go up or down. A person has to go to the 8th floor from the 13th floor. So he has to go to 8th floor from the 13th floor. The gap between them is 5. Okay. What is the minimum number of times the button has to be required to be pressed? 7, 13, 19, 20. That means the number of steps is going to be high. I am not sure if I want to do this. I am not sure because it will be time consuming and it will make me go up and down. I might as well do a couple of extra questions in the quant arena. So the only question which is left now is 95. Let me look at 95 now. Question 95. 7 plus 8 is 95. 113 plus. Another big question. I'll leave. I think I'll take that extra 6-7 minutes for quant. So let me now go to quant. I think I've done sufficient when it comes to VLL. Hopefully I have done. While I could look at doing one extra RC passage, I'm just not doing that because the 2 passages which are left are not the one that I'm very keen on. One was if I were, yeah. One is Keats and one is psychiatry. But can I look at 56 to 15? Let me just quickly look at the passage and see if there's something which is interesting for me to just question, which I can straight away answer without going through the passage. Mild paranoia, victims of mild paranoia was okay. You can find that out. If you understand Hamlet to be fiction, okay. Let me look at this also. Mild paranoia and Hamlet to be fiction are the 2 questions which I would like to look at. Okay. Mild paranoia and Hamlet to be fiction. Let me quickly run through the passage and see if I can identify these 2. It's a long passage actually. I'll not read it aloud, I'll quickly read so that I can get to the answer fast. I'm looking for mild paranoia and Hamlet. The few thousand copies sold, man, is all right. It is another matter. It was a popularized opportunity real researchers of mild paranoia. Okay. The setting was professional meeting in Copenhagen in 1995. At home, as the project's book's popularity grew and my standing among my colleagues fell, or so I feared, my standing around me fell. With the few thousand copies sold, a man is all right. With hundreds of thousands of sales, it's another matter. I was a popularizer. I was an opportunist who has made his way to the banks on the backs of others, the real researchers. The apprehension was a matter of hypersensitivity, of mild paranoia. Although when a book succeeds, there are always belated debunking reviews. Okay, to feed an author's insecurity. Speaking invitations. Okay, let me just go to the choices. 56. Researchers who claimed to. No, this cannot be the answer. His publishers cannot be the answer. Author or the reviewers. Let me go back. Made us back to. So I feared. Okay, whose fear? What? Who's becoming paranoid? Or so I feared. My standing among the colleagues felt, or so I feared. So it is the author who's possibly becoming paranoid. So reviewers, they are always related. No, the reviewers were actually putting him down, so they are not being paranoid. Okay, so the correct answer here should be author and Hamlet to be fiction. Let me similarly find where is Mr. Hamlet. But let's set out. Okay, if you understand Hamlet to be fiction. Okay, so let me go to the question. If you understand, what does it mean? Hamlet's creation was melancholic. Hamlet was not melancholic because he's fictitious. Okay, let me read this paragraph again. Of course, in Copenhagen, the suffering of artist Kirkland, Kierkegaard, who else? He is the most famous Dane, give or take Hans Christian Andersen. Certainly, Kierkegaard is the Dane best known for his melancholy. If you understand Hamlet to be fiction, so if you don't count Hamlet, then he is the most best known for his melancholy. He is the best known Dane for his melancholy. Obviously, because Hamlet is fiction, so he should not be counted. Let me just go back to the question. Hamlet was a creation. No, it was not a creation of this thing. Hamlet was well known, melancholic, but fictitious. Yes, this can be the answer. Hamlet is semi-fictitious figure. No, he's a fictitious figure. Whose author realized that Danes were big fans. No, correct answer D. B. Last passage. Can I take a chance? There's another 2-3 minutes, so let me just take a chance with the last passage, which was 72 to 74 also. Slide. Go to slide. Any question? Why does the author highlight Keats? We will need to understand the passage for this. Following is the most likely source of the passage. I have no need to read this also. Will need to be okay. 3 questions or 4 questions? Yeah, 3 questions, 72, 74. So let me just go back to now quant. Okay. 2 chords ABCD is geometry round 2. We'll come back to it in round 2. Value of 1 upon b square. Okay, this can be solved. I will use SQC out here, which means I will take b equal to 1. If b is equal to 1, because none of the choices contain b, that means b has to get cancelled out, so I might as well remove it. So effectively this becomes 1 upon 1 plus y square minus 1 upon 1 minus y plus y square plus 2y upon 1 plus y square plus y4. So this can be written as a plus b and a minus b. So if I say y plus y square, so this will become minus, this will become minus. Hold on. What am I doing? So this should be 1 plus y square. Okay, so I can say 1 plus y square plus y and 1 plus y square minus y. So this is a plus b into a minus b. So effectively these two will become a square minus b square. A square minus b square is 1 plus y square, a square minus b square, and here I will get 1 plus y square minus y and minus this one, 1 minus y square minus y. So minus y square plus y square minus 1 plus 1 and plus 2y upon 1 plus y square plus y4. Now what do we get out here in the denominator here? This denominator will be a square plus b square. Sorry, this will be minus 2y upon a square plus b square is y4 plus 2ab plus 2y square minus y square plus 2y upon 1 plus y square plus y4, and this becomes minus y square goes, this goes, so 1 plus y square, y4, sorry, this was y4, this y square, so this is equal to minus 2y plus 2y, so this should be equal to 0. So question 2, correct answer D. Question number 3, sum of squares of 3 consecutive odd natural numbers BB, which is the 4-digit number, find the value. It can be done. None of the choices is none of the above or cannot be determined. So let me just solve this here itself. Let me assume the numbers to be x, 3 consecutive odd natural numbers, x and x minus 2 and x plus 2. Sum of squares is BB. So this becomes a square plus b square minus 2x 2ab plus x square plus a square plus b square x square plus 4 plus 2x plus 2x minus 2x. So x square x square x square. So this becomes 3x square plus 8. 8 should be equal to b, which means it can be either equal to 1 1 1 1 or 2 2 2 2 or 3 3 3 3 or 4 4 4 4. So checking the choices becomes a part of SQC. So 3x square plus 8 should be equal to this. Or can I say x, if I say 3x, so what should x square be? X square will be 111 minus 8. This would mean 1103 divided by 3 should be x square. So now this I am saying is x square. This should be 2222 minus, so 22 minus 8 is 14. So 2214 divided by 3 should be x square. This should be 3325 by 3 and this should be 4436 by 3. Now 3 4 5, this is not a multiple of 3, so this cannot be the answer because x has to be an integer. Okay. 2222 224 4 and 1 5 5 plus 4 9. This is a multiple of 3, so let me hold on with this. What about this? 3 plus 3 6. 3 3 3. Oh sorry, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. This is 5 5 5 5. So let me, I have made stupidity. This is 5 5 5 5 and I have 8 8 8 8. I'm sorry, this was a stupidity. I should be careful. So this means x square should be 5 5 4 7 by 3 and this should be 8 8 8 0 by 3. Obviously this is a multiple of 3 and 5 5 4 7 by 3, 5 5 10 10 and 11 21, again a multiple of 3. So what does this give me? 3 7s are 21, 11 3 3s are 9, 24 3 8s are 24. This is not a perfect square, so okay, 1 in any case is not an answer. 727 is a perfect, 729 is a perfect square, so this cannot be the answer also. What about this? This is 3 5 5 5 7 3, 18s are 54, 14 3 4s are 12, 12, that means 27, 1849. 1849 is it 43 square? 43 square will be 3 3s are 0, 9. 743 minus 7 is 34, 36, 36 by 2, 18. Okay. 18. 18 or 9 does not look like, okay, I'll just check it later on. Okay, what about this? This is 3 2s are 6, 28. It is 43 squares done. Let me just write it down and do it. 3 3s are 9, 129, 4 3s are 12, 2 carry 1, 4 4s are 16 and 17, 9 2 2 4 7 1 18 49. Yeah, this is the correct answer. This is okay. But let me just check this one also in any case. 3 2s are 6, 28, 3 2s are 6, 28, 3 9s are 27, 18, 296, 2960. This is not a perfect square, so this cannot be the answer. Correct answer, choice 5, stupidity out here, which should have been avoided. And also squaring, I need to brush up. Round 2. Long question, will take time to understand. Okay. Fx is find the value of the following expressions. These kind of questions again I solve by using SQC. Okay. But I will look at this only in round 2. Can be time consuming and the choices are close. Time, speed, distance. Round 2 clocks is typically a round 2 question for me. So let me go further. Sequence of 7 natural numbers, again a long question. I will look at only in round 2 because in round 1 I am looking at only a question can solve very fast. Two numbers p and q are randomly chosen in the set, from the set, where what is the product of all possible values of pq? So which means pq are randomly chosen. So product of all possible. So if I have 1, I will have 1 by 3, 1 by 5, 1 by 6, 1 by 7, 1 by 9. Then if I look at 3, I will also have 3 by 1. So 3 by 1, 1 by 3, 5 by 1, 5 by 1, 1 by 5. Okay, that means, okay, obviously for every combination of PQ, you'll have P by Q also and Q by P also. That means the product will always be equal to 1. So correct answer has to be choice D. Round 2. Shape of square, difficult looking numbers. We'll come back and do it in round 2. Also, there's none of these. What is the sum of all possible integral values? Sum of possible integral values, sum of integral values or number of integral solutions, usually a round 2 question for me. Please find the number of elements. I am not sure what this means. I am not sure about A into B or B into A what this means. So this is not a question that I will attempt at all. 12 to 15 I will write down separately. Okay. 12 to 15 is DI. On my rough sheet I am writing it is a pi plus bar chart. Looks easy numbers. All percentages are easy. So looks attemptable. 5 states permanent and so looks attemptable. It also tells me number of employees is 900. So I can come back to it later. Okay. In triangle ABC is round 2. Geometry is round 2 for me. X, Y, Y, Z plus ZX is equal to 0. Then what is the value of this? Again, for me, this is a question to be attempted in round 1 SQC. I will take values of X, Y, Z and find out the specific case. This is general case, so I'll check out for specific case. Now, the sum of these three has to be 0. That means at least one of these three should be negative and at least one should be positive. So it can be 1 negative, 2 positives or vice versa. Let me start by let me take X equal to, let's say, minus 1. If X is minus 1, that means this becomes equal to XY will become minus 1 minus Y plus YZ minus Z should be equal to 0. This implies YZ should be equal to Y plus Z. That means Y and Z should be 2 each. So Y2 plus 2 equal to 2 into 2. So taking X to be equal to minus 1, Y to be equal to 2, Z to be equal to 2. Let me find the value. This becomes minus 1 square minus 1 square minus 4. So this is minus 3. So this becomes, first term becomes minus 1 by 3. Second term, Y square will be 4 plus minus Z is 2, 2 into minus 1. So minus 2, 4 plus 2, 6. So plus 1 by 6. And third one, Z square again will be 4 plus 2, 4, 1 by 6 equal to 0. Correct answer has to be choice A, but these two are ruled out. But what is X plus Y plus Z? X plus Y plus Z is minus 1, 2, 2, 4 minus 3 equal to 3. So again incorrect. Mensuration, round 2. Time, speed, distance, constant speeds, etc. But looks complicated. Look at it only in round 2. How many positive even integers less than 200 can be written as the sum of 3 consecutive integers? Let's start checking out. I will just start making the cases and see what pattern emerges. So if I start with the smallest one, 0, 1, 2 will add up to 3. 1, 2, 3 will add up to 6. 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3, 4, 5, 12. So that means the smallest will be 3 into 1, which is 3. And these are all multiples of 3. So whichever this number will be, the last one will also be a multiple of 3. So the highest multiple of 3 before 200 will be 198. Now 198 will be 65 into 3 is 195. So 3 into 66. So these are 66 numbers, but we want even numbers only. So half of them should be even and half of them should be odd. Because we are starting with 3, ending with 98, so 33. In any case, there is no choice called 34, so it's not a problem. Find the number of two-digit natural numbers. Find the number of two-digit natural numbers with the following characteristics. Round 2. Number of two-digit natural. If it was only a two-digit natural number with these characteristics, I would have checked the choices. Geometry is round 2 in any case for me. Raju went to a shop to buy a certain number of pens and pencils. He calculated the amount payable to the shopkeeper and gave the amount to him. Raju was surprised and the shopkeeper returned 24 to him as balance. When he came back home, he realized that the shopkeeper had actually transferred the number of pens and pencils. Which of the following is certainly an invalid statement? I don't know. We'll look at it in round 2 because I don't have any data. So I'll have to assume the number of pens. Let's say number of pens and pencils. So number, let it be X and Y. And price could be, let's say, P and Q. So So the price is P and Q out here. So it becomes Px plus Qy is what he should have got. He should have paid, that is what he paid. And the second is the shopkeeper enters paid, so Qx plus Py plus 24 should be equal to this. Is that right? I'll come back and do it in round 2. Again a round 2 question. Penetration power, long question. We'll come back and look at DI 25 to 27. Only 3 people, Asim, Ayan, Samantha. Okay. Percentage of aggregate marks. Okay, marks lost by each of them. Okay. Reason for marks lost by each of them. Looks complicated. It is not a question set which I will like to do it. So I'll just write marks for 3 stones. And I'm putting a question mark to indicate I may not be keen on attempting this. Okay. We'll look at it in round 2. I don't have to waste my time out here. Which of the following is incorrect regarding regular pentagon inside in a circle of radius r? Normally I would do it in round 2, but let me just do it in round 1. A regular pentagon has a interior angle of 108 degrees. Okay. Basically. So this is 108 degrees. This is what I know. Okay. So side of the pentagon, area of the pentagon, length of the diagonal, side of the pentagon. So let me just look at this thing. So if this is the center of the circle, this is what will be there. So if this is the radius of the circle, okay, and this is 108 degrees, so this should be 54 degrees. 54. And this is 54 also, because both of these are nothing but the radius. 108, this is 72 degrees. Okay. So side of the pentagon. Okay, let's look. So effectively, if I now draw a, so this should be 36, this is 90, this is 54, and this is R. So if I take theta to be 54, so that means this side will be, one will be R sine 54, one will be R cos 54. So sine theta some perpendicular upon hypotenuse. So this is perpendicular upon hypotenuse. That means the side of the pentagon can be, this can be R sine 36. So this will be 2R sine 36. This is possible. Similarly, if I look at 54, this will be R cos 54. This is R cos 54, 2R cos 54 is also possible. Okay. So which of these is incorrect? These two are correct. These are not the answers, but these statements are correct. Area of pentagon. Area of pentagon is half into base into side. This is talking about sine 72. Sine 72 means he's taken this one. Okay. So half base into height. So side will be either R sine 36 or R cos 54. So half into R sine, because now I am taking at half into base, 2R sine 36. Half into 2R sine 36 degrees, or it will be half into 2R cos 54 degrees. Not this unlikely, because it is taking a 72, which is a multiple of this, into the altitude will be hence R cos 36. R cos 36 degrees. So this becomes R by 2. So 2 sin theta cos theta is sin 2 theta. So that means area of the triangle will become R by 2 into sin 2 sin theta cos theta is sin 2 theta, sin 72 degrees. So this is effectively this. But this will be 5 triangles, so into 5 R2. So this is also possible. That means the correct answer has to be choice C. Question 30. Angle between two sides of a plot measuring 32 and 24 is a right angle. The other two sides are 25 each, and the other 3 angles are not right angle. What is the area? Can be done while it's a mensuration question. Simple question of mensuration. I think I can do it in round 1 itself. So 32, 24. So and the other 2 are 25 each. So let's say this is 25 and this is 25. So area, okay. So okay. This is a right angle triangle. This is 3, 4, 5. If it was 3, 4, 5, this is 3, 8 are 24, 3, 4, 3. This is 3, 8 are 24, 4, 8 are 32. So this should be 40. Okay. So if this is 40, this is okay. This is 40. We can find this one also. Okay. Let me find the area of this one first. Half into 24 into 32. So 12 into 32, 12 2s are 24, 12 3s are 36 plus 2 38. So area of this portion is 384. And how do we get the area? Okay, so let me do it this way again. It's 25 each, so these two angles have to be equal, then this will be the midpoint. So this is a right angle triangle, so it will be twice. We need to find the height. This is height. Okay. So this is 20. Okay, so this is 5 5s are 25. This 5 4s are, so this should be 15. So this should be half into base is 40. This is the base 40 into 15. So 2 20s are 2300 plus 300, 684. Correct answer. Question 31. X equal to 12, find the value of x5. I can do it in round 1 itself. I know what is to be done, especially x value is given out here. Let me see if I can simplify this. Okay. Let me take these two together, these two together, these two together. Actually, similar thing we had done in MockCat 7 also, if I remember correct. So x to power 4 into x minus 13 plus x square into 13x square rather, 13x square into x minus 1. Is that right? So this gives me 13x cube minus 13x square. This gives me x to power 5 minus 13x4 plus 13x minus 1. Okay. So if I put x equal to 12, this becomes 12 to power 4 into minus 1 plus 13 into 12 square into x minus 1 into 11 plus 13 into 12, 13 into 12, 144, 156 minus 1, 155. So this is 155. What is 12 to power 4? So have I... Okay, let me look at these two again. So effectively this becomes, let me take 12 square outside. Inside I'll have minus 12 square for this thing. And I'll have 13 into 11. Plus 13 into 11, 130 plus 11, 143. Plus 155. Is that right? Okay. So minus of 12 square, minus 12 square is 144. So this is 1. Minus 1 rather. So this is minus 1 into 12 square plus 155. 12 plus the 144. So this is minus 144 plus 155. So it should be 11. So answer 11. Round 1. Because I can do this by substitution of values. X sine cube A plus y cos cube A equal to this thing. So let me take A to be. A can be anything from 0 to 90, so let me take A to be equal to 45 degrees. A is equal to 45 degrees. So looking at this, sine cube A, sine A will be 1 by root 2 and means sine cube A will be 1 upon 2 root 2. 1 by root 2 into 1 by root 2 into 1 by root 1 upon 2 root 2. So this becomes x upon 2 root 2 plus y upon 2 root 2 is equal to sine A into cos A. Sine A is 1 by root 2, cos A is also 1 by root 2, sine 45, cos 45, both of them are 1 by root 2, so this becomes 1 by 2. 1 by root 2 into 1 by root 2, 2. Or rather, these two get cancelled out, which implies x plus y is equal to root 2. Okay. Find the value of x square plus y square. And the second thing is x sine A equal to y cos A. So x sine 45 equal to y cos 45, but sine cos 45 equal to cos 45 equal to 1 by root 2. That means x equal to y. So what is x square plus y square? X square plus y square becomes 2x square 2x square, which is nothing but okay. So x plus y is equal to root 2. X plus y. But x equal to y, that means this tells me 2x is equal to root 2. So squaring both sides, so 4x square is equal to 2. So that means 2x square should be equal to 2 by 2, which is half of this, which is equal to 1. Okay. So correct answer is 2x square is equal to 1. Again, another instance of SQC being helpful to us. Cuboidal box, 8 spherical box interval with 4 balls after is round 2. I'll come back and look at this in round 2. Question of logs, I will look at this in round 2. Okay. It is also talking about number of possible values, which is not something I want to do in round 1. Find the number of real solutions of the equations. We'll look at this in round 2 only. 4 cards are picked from a pack of well-shuffled bridge cards and arranged in a table. No two adjacent cards are the same suit. This can be done in n ways. N is divisible by, I need to find n, that means, okay. Look at this only in round 2 if I have time. Geometry. Round 2. 4x square minus y square plus 4y equal to c. Find the value of c. I am not sure how to do it, so I will not even come back to this later. How many 4-digit positive integral numbers are there in base 7? If the number of such numbers is converted to the same base. This is a base system I am reasonably comfortable, round 1. Now, the number of 1-digit numbers is 10 to power 1 minus 10 to power 0. Number of 2-digit numbers in base 10 is 10 square minus 10 to power 1. So, similarly, if you look at number of 4-digit numbers, would be 10 to power 4 minus 10 to power 3. So 1, 2, yeah. So here we have base 7. So that means in base 7 the number of 4-digit numbers should be 7 to power 4 minus 7 to power 3. 7 to power 4 is 2401. 7 cube is 343. So base 24 minus 3 is 2100 minus 43, rather minus 42. So 2058. So we have 2058. The question says number is converted to the same base. 2058 is in base 10. We need to convert it in base 7. So 2058, let me just start checking out. Start by 7, 7 3s are 7 2s are 14, 65, 7 9s are 63, 28, 7 4s are 28, 7 4s are 28, yeah. So remainder 0. Okay. Next. So which means actually these two cannot be the answer. The answer is either going to be C or none of these. 7 4s are 28, 7 2s are 14, remainder 0. 7 6 are 42, remainder 0. So answer has to be 6000. Correct answer, choice C. What is the sum of roots of the equation? X minus 2 whole square plus x minus 2 mod of x minus 2 equal to 0. I'll look at, cases will have to be made, so I'll look at this in round 2. 1 plus x is okay. The standard way of doing this question, but I'll do it in round 2 because it can be time consuming and at times I do get the answer wrong. So let me just come back to it in round 2. This is definitely round 2. I'll draw and do it. Find the area of pentagon whose vertices are given. So I'll draw and do it. Round 2. Geometry is straight away round 2 question. I'll not even waste time. 5x plus 2y plus z equal to 81. Where x, y, z are distinct positive integers. Find the absolute difference between the maximum and minimum possible values of x plus y plus z. This can be done in round 1. Should not be a problem. X, y, z are distinct positive integers. Let me not make a mistake. So I want the maximum difference between the maximum and minimum possible values of 5x, y and z. So 5x plus 2y plus z equal to 81. So if I want to find the maximum value of x plus y plus z, then I should be having maximum value of z. So if I have to maximize z, that means x and y should be as low as possible and lowest value should go to x, obviously, because we want to have maximum value of z. Next, so if I look at maximum part, x is 1, the minimum value for y will be 2, so 5 plus 4 9, and z will be 81 minus 9 72. So the maximum value of x plus y plus z, 72, 74, 75. And if I have to take the minimum value of x, y, z, then x has to be maximized. If x has to be maximized, maximum value of x can be 16. But 16 5 is 80, does not give me, that means one has to be 1, the other has to be 0, but x, y distinct positive integers. So that means 0 is not possible. So 16 cannot be the answer, x 15. If x is 15, 75 is gone, I am left with 6. 81 minus 75 is 6. So I want the maximum, so I'll put maximum possible here. 3 2s are 6, but 0 is not possible, so 2 2s are 4. And 2 2s are 4 and z also 2. Okay. So this is again not right because both of these have to be different, so this cannot be the answer. But have I made a mistake? Let me just check out once again. Okay, what if I make this 1? Okay, so 2 2 is not possible, but if I make this as 1 and 4, what do I get? 15 4 19 and 120. Here I was getting 15 4 19. Is this fine? Yeah. So the minimum will be 20. 15, 1 and 4, 20. Difference is 55. Okay, 45 to 47. Large amount of data. Let me quickly see the DI part. Two major gangs responsible are gang KitKat following chart increase, decrease in number of crimes. Number of murders was 8,000. Number of extortions. Okay. In each of the total number of crimes committed by these two put together are the same. The ratio of number of crimes committed by these two gangs in the aforementioned number of crimes committed by these two gangs for the years 2000 to 2004. Total number of crimes is the same every time. So okay, but looks again calculation intensive. Though the numbers here do not look difficult, but this definitely looks calculation intensive. Not my first preference, but I can consider this over the other one. So 45 to 47 can be considered over 25 to 27. The crime bar chart. Okay, but not very happy with this also. 3 questions. Okay. Okay. Next question. Question 48 again. SQC. These are standard SQC questions. Put x equal to 1 and check out. Fx equal to this much. Which of the following is correct? So that means f of x. If x is equal to 1, then fx will be equal to 1 plus 1 2, and f of 1 by x will be again equal to 2. So choice A becomes 2 by 2 is equal to 1, and here becomes 2 minus 2 is equal to 0. So choice A is incorrect. That means this can also be incorrect. This one 2 into 2, and this is 2 plus 2. So choice B is correct, but there are none of these also. So let me just to be safe, let me take x equal to 2. If x is equal to 2, then f of x will become 2 to the power 4 plus 1. 2 to the power 4 is 6, 2, 4, 8, 16, 17. And f of 1 by x will be 1 upon 2 to the power 4 plus 1. So 16, so it becomes 17 by 16. So just let me check out here. So this is 17 into 17 by 16, and right hand side is 17 plus 17 by 16. Okay. 4 plus 1. Fx, so 17 plus 17 by 16. So this is 17 square by 16, and this is 17 square by 16, and what is this? 16 denominator is fine, so 17 into 16 plus 17, which is again 17 square. 17 common, 16, so 17 square by 16. So yeah, so choice B should be the correct answer. All positive integers in which sum of dates is equal to number of dates in the number are said to be pure numbers. For example, 1, 11, 20 are pure numbers. Sum of dates is equal to the number of digits. Okay. How many pure numbers have more than one dates and all dates are distinct? Not a question which I want to attempt. It's going to be time consuming. Okay, question 50, last question. So round 1, round 2 does not really matter. Angles of triangle are x, y, z. Log of this equal to this. Find the respective values of x, y, z. So we can do it this question. This should not be a problem. So log of xyz should be equal to, this will be log of x cube plus log of 2 cube and 2 log 3 plus 2 log 3. So this will become plus log of 3 square. So this is going to be nothing but log of x cube into 2 cube into 3 square. So we can say xyz is equal to 9 into 870, or let me say x cube into 9 into 8. So x gets cancelled out, and here we have x square effectively. So we can say y z should be equal to 9 into 8 into x square, or rather y z upon x square should be equal to 9 into 8. Let me check the choices now. By the way, this also tells me y and z should be multiples of 9 and 8, one of them. So by that logic, this cannot be the answer. None of them, or rather, you don't have a multiple of 9 out here. We don't have a multiple of 9 in these. So these are unlikely to be correct. Okay, but just if you want to be sure, we can just check it out. But let me go to the third choice, 10, 80, 90. So if I put y and z as 80 into 90 upon 10 square, which is 100. Okay. So this is correct, but when it says cannot be determined, does it mean multiple choices can be there? Can it have multiple answer values? 9 into 8 has to be x. Yeah, but there's a triangle. Some of the angles of a triangle, there's only one possibility which will happen. Yeah. Okay. So now let me go back and do the DI set first. The first DI set was questions 12 to 15. The simple one, questions 12 to 15 was the one. So let me look at that one first. Okay, let me read the data and then we'll do this. State government employees in 5 different states of India: Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra and Karnataka in 2003 depicted chart below. The paragraph showed percentage breakup of permanent and temporary government employees for each state for the year 2003. Okay. So by chart says 16. So that means these 5 together are 100%. Total number of state government employees in Maharashtra is 900. Okay. Total number of state government employees in Maharashtra is 900, and this gives us the, or in other words, I can say 22% is this Maharashtra? Total state government employees in Maharashtra is 9%. Okay, let me just look at this one. This is Karnataka. This should be Maharashtra. This should be UP. This should be Gujarat. This is 900. Okay, 20% is 900. That means the total number of employees out here is 5 times 4,500. Let's look at the question. How many permanent state government employees were there from Andhra Pradesh in 2003? Simple question. Let me do this. 2003 Andhra Pradesh. Let me just write down which one is AP. This is AP. Just to be sure I don't make a mistake, this is Gujarat. This is UP. Maharashtra we already have put, and Karnataka. Okay, so how many permanent state government employees were from Andhra Pradesh in 2003? Andhra Pradesh is 16%. So 16% of 4,500. 16% of 4,500. So 10% is 450. Okay. And oh, sorry, permanent state government employees. So not 16%. I got it wrong. From Andhra Pradesh, permanent is 60%. So it has to be 60% of Andhra Pradesh is 16% of 4,500. So 60% of 16% is 96, so 9.6% of 4,500. So 10% is equal to 450, and so answer has to be less than 450, slightly less than 450 actually. So answer has to be slightly less than 450, 9.6%, 10%. So this again is incorrect. This should be the answer. Question 13. How many temporary state government employees were there from Gujarat in 2003? Gujarat temporary state government employees 70%. So 70% of 22%. So 70% of 22% of this was 4,500. Now 20% or 17% is 14%. 14 plus 1.4, 15.4%. Now that means 10% is 450. 5% is 225, slightly more than 675. Let's look at the choices. Slightly more than 675. This is incorrect. This is incorrect. It should be 6 because we have only 0.4% more. So just to be safe, 10%, 1%, 45. 0.4% will be about 20. So 675 plus 20, 690. Yeah, correct answer. Choice A. Question 14. In 2003, the number of permanent state government employees from UP was equal to number of temporary state government employees of which other states? Permanent state government employees of UP was equal to temporary state government employees of which other state? Maharashtra, Karnataka, UP. Okay, let me see. UP itself is 50-50. That means this should be the one. So I'll do how many choice? So UP should be a part of my answer. So this cannot be an answer. This cannot be an answer. Let's see UP and Gujarat. What is the number of? So we already have calculated number of state government employees from temporary is Gujarat is 693. Number of permanent state government employees was equal to number of temporary state government employees. Temporary state government employees of Gujarat is 693. Let's find out permanent or the temporary state government employees of UP. UP is 18% of 50%. So 9% of 4,500. But this was, Gujarat was 15.4%. So this cannot be the answer. So Gujarat cannot be the answer. Correct answer should be this one. Question 2015. In 2003, if temporary state government employee used to get a salary that was equal to 4 times the salary of permanent state government employee. So temporary gets a salary which is 4 times in each of the 5 states. Then salary bill of temporary and permanent government employees will be equal for which state? The state for which the number is the reverse. Okay. Number is reverse 4:1. It is there in Maharashtra 80-20. Anyone else? Not this one. Not Gujarat. Not this one. So it should be Maharashtra. The ratio of salary is 4:1. So the number should become 1:4. That is true for Maharashtra. Okay. Simple set of data. Let me click it off. Let me look at quickly the crime graph because I'm reasonably sure that I don't want to attempt 25 to 27. So the crime one was 45 to 47. 45 to 47. Let me quickly understand the data. City of Gotham crime. Percentage increase, decrease in crime over the previous year. In 1999, the number of murders was 8,000, extortions, etc., etc. 6,000. Now that means 2 major gangs. That means there have to be others also. So you have gangmen, you have the Kit Kat, and you will have others. The total number of crimes by these 2 are constant every year. But internally, these are in the ratio of 5:6. 2:3 and 9:8. Okay. Let me just quickly see what is the total number of other gangs for the given 5-year period. That means you need to find the number of crimes for each year. Okay. For which year the percentage of crime committed other gangs as a percentage of crime again. Each year we have to find this is going to be high on calculation. Let me not waste time out here. What's the third one? Ratio of crime committed gang and Kit Kat had been 1:1. Again, this is going to be high on calculation. Let me not waste my time here. Let me look at questions 25 to 27 and see if there's something which can work for me there. Otherwise, I'll just go back to quant and finish it off. Asima and Samantha appeared for 6 board exam marks, 6 tests. Okay. Math, social studies, English, commerce, Hindi. In each subject as a percentage of aggregate marks obtained by, okay, so this is out of his total, Asim has obtained 12% in maths, 20 in social studies. Okay. The marks lost by each of the 3 students in the 6 subjects was due to 5 different reasons, PQRST. Okay. The following bar provides information of marks lost by each due to, this holds true for each of the 6 subjects. The marks lost by Asim, I and Samantha in each subject as a percentage of the marks obtained by each one of them was 40%, 25% and 20%. Okay. Questions is going to be heavy on calculation. Let me see if there's some specific question. I think I'll skip this. I'll go and do only quant. I think as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to do any more of any more of DI. Let me look at the questions. Two chords ABCD of circle with center O intersect such that at P, if AOD is 80 degrees, can I draw AOD is 80 degrees? So AOD, so AOD is 80 degrees, okay, and BOC is 60 degrees. AB is a chord, so BOC has to be, and what is the value of APC? BOC. So if B is here, this will take time. I'll come back to it later if I have to. So on my rough sheet, I have written question number 1 to be considered if I have time. Let me look at question 4. From 1 to 1000. He shuffled this pack in 2 steps as Gandolfini placed the topmost card to the bottom of the pack, removed the topmost card to make a new pack. Okay. He kept on repeating these 2 steps till he transferred all the cards into a new pack. After his completion of process, he realized that the new pack of cards, all the cards were automatically arranged from 1000 to 1, from top to bottom. Initially, what is the number on the topmost card? Not worth attempting for me. I'll just skip this question. Question number 5. Find the value of the following expressions. Let me look at this F1 by 2. Now, typically I will look at saying, let me take a value of x and see if I can find some values out here. What is the minimum possible? This is almost 0 and this is almost 1. So if x is equal to 1, f of x will become 121 upon 132. 11 square upon 11 into 12. So this is 11 into 12. And if x is equal to 0, then f of x will become, which is, I'm saying almost this one, the limit will be 1 upon 12. Because 121 to power 0 will be 1. So 1 upon 12. So I can say these two should also add up to, so I can say f1 and f0 add up to 12, or 1 rather. 11 by 12 plus 1 by 12 is 1. So that should be 2 for here also. And these also. So how many are these? These are 2013. The middle one, 2013, or rather 1006 pairs plus the middle one. The middle one will be when x is equal to 1 by 2. So if x is equal to 1 by 2, which will be 1007. 1007 upon 2014. Then becomes, if x is equal to 1 by 2, then f of x will be 121 to power half is 11 upon 11 plus 11, which is equal to 1 by 2, which is 0.5. So plus 1 by 2. So 1000 pair, each of these pairs will give me 11 by 12 plus 1 by 12, which is 1. So it should be 1006 plus 0.5. The correct answer should be choice B. Okay, clocks. There's a planet named M. On the planet, a day has 36 hours. Follow on 9-hour clock. In the hour, there are 100 minutes, and in a minute, there are 200 seconds. Moreover, the hands, hour hand and the second hand move in clockwise. Moreover, the hour hand and the second hand move in clockwise direction, while the minute hand moves in anti-clockwise direction. So let me just be sure so that I don't make a mistake. How many times a day do the hour and minute hand meet each other? So clockwise, anti-clockwise direction. Hour hand and second hand move in clockwise direction. Hour hand and the second hand move in clockwise direction, and the minute hand moves in the opposite side. How many times in a day? Okay, so it has 9 hours. It's a 9-hour clock. That means the minute hand will do 360 degrees in 9 hours. Sorry, in 1 hour, in one complete round. Minute hand will do 360 degrees in one complete round, so which is in 1 hour. So its speed of the minute hand is 360 degrees per hour. The hour hand, he will do one complete round. Hour hand will complete one complete round in 9 hours. So hour hand will do 360 degrees in 9 hours, which means its speed is 40 degrees per hour. So if they are moving in opposite direction, the relative speed becomes 360 plus 40, 400. So they will cover 360. When will they meet? When they cover 360 degrees together, they will cover 360 degrees at the latest speed of 400 degrees per hour, so which is 0.9 of an hour. So they will meet every 0.9 of an hour. So that means in 9 hours they will meet 10 times. If they will meet 9 in 9 hours, they will meet 10 times. And how many times during the day? How many times a day? It is 36 hours a day and they have a 9-hour clock. So 4 times 10 into 4, 40. Okay, question number 7. Sequence of 7 natural numbers written in increasing order from left to right such that number at the odd places form a geometric progression. 7 natural numbers, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Number at the odd places form a 1, 3, 5, 7. These are the odd places, the geometric progression. The number at the even places form an AP. Okay. The largest of the given number is 81. 7 natural numbers. Okay. The ratio of the first term and the second term of the sequence is equal to the ratio of the third term and fourth term of the sequence. Also known as second term of the sequence is a prime number. Second term is prime. Then what is the sum of second, fourth and sixth terms of the sequence? Okay, sum of the AP is what we need to find. Natural numbers increasing order, the largest is 81. So that means this should be 81. But 81 is 3 to the power 4. Since it's a geometric progression, that means this should be 27, which is 3 cube. 3 cube, 3 square and 3 to the power 1. So 9 and 3. 3, 9, 27, 81. Yeah. This is a geometric progression. Actually, we want to know the sum of second, fourth, sixth. This should be an AP. So this should be a multiple of 3. 3 numbers which are equally spaced added. Multiple of 3. All of them are multiple of 3. Okay, in any case, let's go further. Okay. Ratio of the first term to the second term. So if I say this is A, this is A plus 2 and this is A minus 2. The ratio of the first term to the second term is equal to ratio of third term to the fourth term. Is equal to ratio of third term upon the fourth term of the sequence. It is also known that the second term of the sequence is a prime number. Second term, this is a prime number. Okay. So actually this can be a prime number, which means this can be either 5 or 7, because no other prime number exists between 3 and 9. So let me just put it here and check out. Okay. So, or let me just solve it. 3a equal to 9a minus 2, or other 6a is equal to 2. Have I made a mistake somewhere? Ratio of first term and the first term to the second term is equal to ratio of third term to the fourth term. Okay. Ratio of third term to the fourth term. First 3 upon a minus 2 equal to 9 upon a. So 3a equal to 9a. How stupid can I be? 9a minus 18. Or 6a is equal to 18. That means a is equal to 3. If a is 3, this becomes minus 1. I have made some stupid mistake out here. Let me still check it out. Okay. How stupid. I had to. How can I take it to be 2? Okay. There is an arithmetic progression. I cannot assume that the common difference will be this much. Okay. So let me put this 3 upon to 9 upon. So this is let me say this is a and this is a plus d. Okay. A plus d and a. Okay. So that means 3a plus 3d equal to 9a. Now that means 6a, 3a plus 3d is 9a. So that means 6a is equal to 3d. Or this means now if a is equal to 5, this can be on. Yeah, a can be either 5 or 7. If a is 5, then d will be equal to 30 by 3, 10. That will be 15, and this will be 25. So this cannot be the answer because 25 is smaller than 27. If a is 7, 42 by 3 is 14. So 7, 21, 42. 721 and 35. 35. Yeah. So 21 into 363 should be the answer. Okay, we have already done this. Okay, how much time left? 40 minutes roughly. 2% ABC outstanding towards points AB, QRS at time t equal to 0. ABC start walking towards point S along the lines PS, QS, R respectively. Speed in kilometers per hour ABC are SA, SB, SC respectively. It is also known A reaches the point S at time t equal to 0.75 hours. If at that time t equal to 0.25 hours, if at time 0.25 hours, the distance of each is in the ratio 4:3:2, what is the value of this thing? Okay, let's just take a case. 3 persons ABC standing on points P, Q, R, S. So these are P, Q, R, S. So A has to go towards S. ABC start towards S. B will move along the diagonal, and C will move along this side. Okay. The speed of ABC, it is also known that A reaches S at time t equal to 0.75 hours. Okay. So A reaches S at 0.75 hours. So if I assume this to be, let's say 100, or rather let's say 10, the ratio of speeds is 4:2:3. Okay. So 4:2:3. So let me take this to be 10. That means this distance has to be 10√2, and this distance also is 10. Okay. So if A has covered this distance, what is the value of SB upon SA plus SC? Okay. So ratio of speeds. So ratio of speed should be equal to ratio of distance. So if I find the ratio of distance, okay, if in 0.25 hours ABC and the distance of each of ABC from point S, okay, I'm getting confused. Let me come back to this later. It can be solved. I just don't want to waste time. We'll come back to it later. What is the sum of all the possible integral values of x that finally? Okay, this is not a problem. Okay, let's say that means 6x square minus 17x plus 5 should be less than or equal to 0. So that means 6 5s are 30 minus 15 and 2. So that means 6x square minus 15x minus 2x plus 5 it should be less than or equal to 0. X common 3x minus 5. Sorry, 3x taken out. So 2x square, 2x minus 5 minus 2x minus 5 should be less than or equal to 0. So 3x minus 1 into 2x minus 5 should be less than or equal to 0. And going back to the number line, that means this will be 0 when this is 0 when x is equal to 1 by 3. So this is 1 by 3. 3x minus 1 equal to 0, that means x equal to 1 by 3. And this is 2x minus 5, so x equal to 5 by 2. So 5 by 2. So 1 by 3, 5 by 2, that means out here, when x is less than 1 by 3, when x is, this will be negative. Positive. So in this case out here, both will be negative, so the product will be positive. So this will be positive, this will be negative, this will be positive. Okay. This has to be less than or equal to 0, so that means here. So that means 1 by 3, 0.33 and 2.5. So that means integral values which will satisfy this will be x equal to 1 and 2. So sum of possible integral values will be 2 plus 1, 3. 1 and 10. Okay. We'll skip this one. We have done this in any case. Okay. In triangle ABC, angle B is pi by 6. Okay. And angle C is pi by 4. Angle C is pi by 4. Okay. D divides BC internally in the ratio of angle B is ABC. Okay. So if I take this is pi by 6. This is 30 degrees and pi by 4 is 45 degrees. Okay, slightly more than 40, but that's okay. So I have A, B, C. D divides BC internally in the ratio of 1 by 1:3. So that means if this is x, this is 3x. Then what is sine of angle BAD upon sine of angle? This is D. Okay. Can I consider? Yes, 40, 75, 75 means this is going to be an angle which is 75, 105 degrees. Okay. Sine rule should be the item out here which we have to apply. So x. So let me see if okay, this is common to both. So let us try to use this. We need to find sine of angle BAD and upon sine of angle. Okay, so sine of BAD upon sine 30. Sine of angle BAD upon x. Let me say this is equal to D. Is equal to sine of 30 upon D, which implies D is equal to sine BAD, sine of angle BAD upon x into sine 30 degrees. Similarly, if I look at the other triangle, we can say sine of CAD angle upon CX should be equal to sine of 45 upon D, which implies D is equal to sine CAD angle upon 3x sine 45, which is same as angle sine of BAD upon x sine 30. So x gone out, x gone out. So we can say sine of BAD upon CAD will be equal to 3 sine 45 upon sine 30. Sine 45 upon sine 30. Sine 45 is 0 half upon root 2. So 3 by root 2 upon sine 30 is 0 half. I've messed up something. What have I done? This is coming out to be 3 upon 2 root 2. None of the choices is there. I've possibly made a mistake. Let me just see. I think I have made this mistake. That means that should be on the other side. Let me just see. I hope. Okay, let me just quickly do a check. It could be sine 30 degrees upon 3 sine 45. I hope that is the case. So it could be the reverse in terms of calculation. 30 degrees 0 half. So 1 upon 2 into 3 into 0 half 1 upon root 2. 0 half 1 upon root 2. So root 2. 0 upon root 2. So it becomes root 2 into 3. So it becomes root 2 into 3. 2.3. So this is nothing but 1 upon 3 root 2, 3 root 2, 3 root 2. Yeah. Most probably this is the answer. I have made a mistake. 3 root 2. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's move on. A large solid sphere is melted to form identical right circular cones with base radius and height same as the radius of the sphere. One of the cones is melted and molded to form a smaller solid sphere. The ratio of the radius of the smaller to the larger sphere. Large solid sphere is melted and molded to form right circular cones. Okay, let me assume the sphere to be R. So the volume of this is 4 by 3 pi R cube. Is molded to form identical right circular cones with base radius and height same as the. Okay, so the volume will be 1 by 3 pi into R square, but R and H is also the height is also equal to the radius, so R cube. Okay, this is the sphere and this is the cone. Right circular cone with base radius and height same as the sphere of the cone. One of these cones is melted, okay, and formed a smaller sphere. So this is equal to, okay, let me make my life easier, 4 by 3 pi R cube. And this is melted to become a smaller sphere. Let the radius of the smaller sphere be small r. This should be equal to 4 by 3 pi R cube. Okay. The ratio of the radius of the smaller to the larger sphere. So So if we just cancel out, pi goes out, 3 goes out. So r cube upon r cube equal to 1 by 4. So which means r by r cube root of 1 upon 4, which is raised to power 1 by 3, which is equal to 1 upon 2 raised to power 2 by 3. 4 is nothing but 2 square, so 2 raised to 2 by 3 cube. So 1 is to 2 raised to power 3, 2. What am I doing today? Okay, 3, this will not be the case. Okay, this, let me just check out. 1 is to power 2 by 3 or 3 by 2. Okay, 2 by 3. Yeah, 2 by 3 cube root. How can I be so stupid today? This cube root, you know, at the end of the denominator had to be a 3. Okay. I'll skip this question. I don't think I want to waste too much time out here. Okay. Question number 21. Find the number of two-digit natural numbers with the following characteristics. Number should be even. It should have exactly 4 factors including 1 and the number itself. One of the digits should be a perfect square. I'll leave this question, not worth attempting. Geometry. Let me see. Let me look at the choices. Two circles A and B touch each other at T. BD is a tangent at D. Okay. And TC is a common tangent. TC is a common tangent. AT has length of 3 centimeters. AT is 3 centimeters. BT is 2 centimeters. What is the length of CD? Okay. What are the choices? Length of CD. This is 3. This should also be 3. The figure is not exactly to scale, but some estimates can still be made. But what are the choices? This is 1.33. This is 1.5. This is 1.6. This is 1.75. I'll leave the question. Okay. Yeah, I was doing this. Let me just quickly do this. So px plus qy has to be equal to, or rather these two had to be equal. So if I look at px plus qy is equal to qx plus vy plus 24. So if we take them to the other side, so we'll get p minus q into x plus q minus p into y. Q minus p into should be equal to 24. So that means we can write this as p minus q, taking p minus q common, into so p minus q into x minus p minus q into y is equal to 24. Yeah, so p minus q into x minus y is equal to 24. Let's look at the choices now. Number of pencils that Raju wanted to buy was 8 more than the number of pens. So p minus q, okay, here the numbers, okay. So one of them is 8. Yes, the difference can be 8 because 24 is nothing but 3 into 8. So if one of them is 8, the other can be 3. So this is possible. The number of pens that Raju wanted to buy was 6 less than the number of pens. So 24 is also equal to 6 into 4. So the difference can be 6 also. And difference in price can be 4 also. So all of them are possible. Okay. Okay, let me skip this question. Okay, let me look at this. Where B is equal to this. This should not be a problem. Given that least possible number that allows B, I am not sure. I will leave this question. Okay, we have done this. Okay. Above these 3 identical balls of previous 8 balls. 8 identicals in 2 rows with 4 balls in each row. So 2 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, and on top there's another row. 3 balls identical to previous are kept in the space between the balls such that each ball touches 4 balls below. How is that possible? 3 balls identical to are touched. I am not clear, so I'll skip this one. Okay, log question should be attempted. Now this is nothing but sum of natural numbers and log 2. So A becomes equal to log of 10 base 10, 2 into sum of natural numbers n into n plus 1 by 2. So this is nothing but log of base 10 of n into n plus 1. Okay. For what possible, find the number of possible values for which a lies between 1 and 3. That means if a has to lie between 1 and 3, that means that means this has to be 10 to the power 0 and this has to be 10 to the power 3. Okay, because a is this. Okay, so that means n into n plus 1 should be greater than 10, but should be less than 1000. So n equal to 2, 2 into 3, 6. So 2 into 3, 3 into 4. So the smallest value of n is 3 and highest is 10 into 32 square. 31 square is 961. So 31 into 32 will be 961 plus 993. 32 into 33 will go beyond. So this has to be n equal to 3 to n equal to 31. N into n plus 1. So how many values? 31 minus 3, 28 plus 1, 29. Number of real solutions. I can't solve this. I'll skip this question. 4 cards are picked from a pack of well-served big cards arranged. No, I'll skip this one question, not to be attempted. It'll take time. ABCD is a square of side 10 units. There are 4 points PQRS inside the square such that triangles, these 4 are equilateral triangles. Okay, find the area of the quadrilateral PQRS. Okay, what are the choices? If the side is 10, that means the square is 100. Root 3 minus 1. Root 3 is 1.7 minus 1.7, so about 70. 2 minus root 3 is 0.3, 30. 2 root 3 is 3.4. 3.4 minus 1, 2.4 into 100, 240. This is incorrect. The answer has to be less than 240. This becomes 2 minus root 3 is 0.3, 0.3 into 50 is 15. So answer is either A, B or D. Let's make the figure. Okay. Yeah. So this is a equilateral triangle. This will be like this. Similarly, the other one would be. So the gap between these two will be the side of the square. So this will be the side of the square effectively. So that means I will have to make a square which is something like this. So when I look at this thing, the answer cannot be 70. Is it 30 or is it 15? This is 100, 15. I will go with 30. I think the correct answer should be 30. I am taking a small chance, but I think it is worth taking. SQC works most of the time. If I've drawn the figure correctly, it is right. I know it is not exactly the correct figure, but it gives me a reasonable idea that it is unlikely to be 15. Okay, I don't know how to do this, so I'll skip. 39 gone. So what is sum of roots of the equation? Sum of roots of the equation. This is nothing but, okay, x minus 2 whole square. 2 whole square. With a whole square, mod does not really matter. Plus x minus 2 mod minus 2 is equal to 0. So two cases. Case 1 is x minus 2, x is greater than 2, and case 2 is x is less than 2. So let me check for x is greater than 2. That becomes x square a square plus b square minus 2ab plus x minus 2 should be equal to 0. So plus 4 minus 2 gone. So plus x minus 2x, so x. So x square plus x is equal to 0. So x into x plus 1 should be equal to 0. I hope I have got this right. Okay. So x is equal to 0 or x is equal to minus 1. But x is greater than 2, so this cannot be the answer. Choice. Okay. This does not give us anything. What about the other one? A square plus x square plus b square. A square plus b square minus 2ab minus 2x. Oh, minus 4x. I made a mistake out here. I'll have to redo this thing. Okay, I'll have to redo. Okay. Minus 4x. Now x is less than 2, so this should be 2 minus x. Plus 2 minus x minus 2 should be equal to 0. So these two gone. So this becomes x square minus x minus 4x minus 5x plus 4 is equal to 0. So this gives me so x minus 1, 5x is minus 4 plus minus 4 minus 1, so x minus 1 into x minus 4 should be equal to 0. That means x can be equal to 1 or x can be equal to 4. But x has to be less than 2, that means x equal to 1 is the only possibility. Let me redo this one. X square plus 4 minus 4x plus x minus 2 is equal to 0. So minus 2 plus 4 gone. So this becomes x square minus 3x. 0. So x into x minus 3 equal to 0. So this implies x can be equal to 0 or x can be equal to 3. Obviously x is to be greater than 2, so x equal to 3. So 3 plus 1, 4. Sum of roots of the equation will be 4. 3 plus 1, 4. Okay. Okay, let me just come back to this. Let me note it down separately. I will note it down on a piece of paper. 41, 1, 10 and 41 are 3 questions I have to look at. Okay, find the area of the pentagon whose vertices are this. Let me just get the answer. Okay, minus 1, 0. Minus 1, anything else? I have a minus 3, 1 also. So this is minus 1, comma 0. I have a minus 3, 1. So minus 1, let's take it minus 3 to be here. Minus 3 and 1 and then 5, 0. So okay, so this is 5, comma 0. Minus 3, 1, 5, 0. 2, 5, x equal to 2. Okay, let me take x equal to 2 and x equal to 6, 2 and 5. X equal to 2 and y equal to 5. 6 and 2. 6 and 2. Okay, so this is the pentagon which we have. We need to find the area. Okay. So how do we do it? This 2, 5. X is equal to 2. So let me look at this one. Okay. Do I do it this way? Okay, let me just look at this. This is a trapezium. The height is 5 out here and the height here is 2. So this part is half sum of parallel sides. 5 plus 2 is 7 into distance between these two. Between these two will be this is 6, 4. So minus area of this right angle triangle. So which is half base into height. Base is 1 into 2. So this portion becomes 7 to the 14 minus 1. This portion is 13. So this is 13. Does it help me? No, it does not help me. What about this one? I can do a similar thing out here. So 5 and how much is this? 1. So half sum of parallel sides is 6 into distance between them. This is going to be minus 3. So minus 3 makes it from 2 to minus 3, 2 plus 3, 5. Minus this right angle triangle. This right angle half into base is going to be from minus 1 to minus 3 into 2 into 1. So 6, 5 are 30, 15 minus 1, 14. 14 plus 13, 27. Okay. Okay, question 42 done. Let me move to the next one now. In a quadrilateral ABCD, AC and BD intersect at O. AB is 16, AO is 15, OB is 5. Okay, these are 12. Given that one of the dimensions out of AB, BC, CD is incorrect while others are correct, then the incorrect dimension is of which side? Let's draw a figure and check out. AB is 16, ABCD is quadrilateral, so let me take AB to be 16. AB is 16, AO is 15. Okay, intersect AB, AC and BD. Okay, let me make a figure. Get out. The quadrilateral ABCD, AC and BD intersect at O, where AB is 16, AO is, they intersect at O. Let me look at it this way. AO is 15, okay. OB is 5, OB is 5, okay. BC is 13, BC is 13, OC is 12, OC is 12, OD is 9, CD is 15. It is given that one of the dimensions out of AB, BC, CD is incorrect while all others are correct. Then the incorrect dimension is of which side? Okay. 12, 9, 15. Now let me put it this way. Okay. AB, BC, BC is 13, BC is 13. 5, 12 and 13 is a right angle. So 5, 12 and 13 is a right angle. Okay, that means this angle has to be 90 degree if this is correct. Similarly 9, 12, 15 is a right angle. 3 3s are 9, 3 4s are 12, 3 5s are 15. Yeah, this is also a right angle. So if this is correct, this 90 degree is right, so it means these two are right because they also form a right angle. So these have to be correct. That means AB could be the wrong answer. BC is, if BC is incorrect, then this will not be a right angle and this will also not be. So BC cannot be right answer. CD, again CD and BC same, cannot be determined. Okay, let's put it this way. If these two are right angles, 90, 90, that means this should also be a right angle. Should also be a right angle, but is this a right angle? 16 square is not equal to 16 square. 15 square. If this right angle, this should be equal. So 16 square 256. Not correct. 225 and 25 250. So AB should be the answer. Okay. This we have already done. 46, 47, 48 we have done. Okay. 49 not interested. 50. So let me go to 1, 10 and 41 and see if I can solve these questions. I have another 11 minutes left. Hopefully I'll be able to solve all 3 of them. Let me look at 10 and 41 first, because 10 I was on track, I think. This was the question. This 10 we have done. 9, let me just have a look at this. Let me just erase this and do it again. 1, 10 and 41, or let me just have a look at 41 also. Okay, let me do this. This is a standard way. I should not have missed this earlier. 1 plus x square is raised to power n equal to, where n is a natural number, a0, okay. First thing is to put x equal to 1, and since in this case we have to eliminate all the negatives or all the odd numbers, a1, a3, a5, a7, so maybe we'll be able to do that. The standard way to do this would be to put x equal to 1. If I put x equal to 1, then left hand side becomes 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3 to power n should be equal to a0 plus a1 plus a2 up to a to power 2, a2n, since x is 1. Now if I take x equal to minus 1, so x equal to 1, x equal to minus 1, this becomes 1 minus 1 is 0 plus minus 1 square, which is 1. 1 should be equal to a0 minus a1. Minus 1 square is my plus 1, so plus a2 minus a3, okay, plus a2. So which means the minus a2 plus a2. Okay. I'm just messing. Yeah, minus a1 rather, minus a1. Minus a3. So when I add if I add both these, so I'll get 3 to power n plus 1 on the left hand side, a0 plus a0, a2 plus a2, a4 plus a4. The minus 1 will get cancelled out. So I'll be left with A2 plus A0 plus A2 plus A4 up to A2 power 2n into 2. Okay. Now we know this is equal to 365 as per the question. So 2 into 365 makes it 730. So 3 to power n is 730 minus 1, 729, which implies 3 square is 9, 3 to power 4. 3 square is 9, 3 to 9 square is 81. So 2, 4, 6, 6. N has to be 6. Let me go to question number 9. Okay. And then after that I'll see if there's any other question which I need to look at. Let me just erase this and try doing it all over again. A field in the shape of a square, okay? PQRS is a field in the shape of a square. A has to go towards S, Q will go along the diagonal, B will go along the diagonal, C will go along this side. Okay. At time t0, ABC start walking towards S along these lines. Speed of ABC are SA, SB, SC respectively, so speeds are fine. A reaches S in 0.75 of an hour. So let me assume the speed of A to be equal to 75 kilometers per hour. Okay. Sorry, A to be 100 kilometers per hour. So in 0.75 hours he'll cover 75 kilometers. So this becomes 75. This becomes 75. I am again applying what is commonly known as SQC. Okay. If at time t 0.25 hours, in 0.25 hours A would have covered 25 kilometers. This is at t equal to 0.25. The distance of each of ABC from point S are, okay, 4:2:3. Okay, so the distance from S, this is 50, and this is 50. That means the distance of B should be half of that. So if this is 50, half of that is 25. Distance of ABC from point S. So this is going to be, he is going to be away by 25. Okay. So if this is 75, this direction, this is going to be 75 root 2, diagonal will be 75 root 2. That means the distance, so the time in which A has covered 25, B has covered 75 root 2 minus 25, and what about C? C. So A is 50 away, he is going to be 50 into 3 by 4, which is 37.5. So C has covered 37.5, or he's away by 30, he's away by 37.5, so that's 37.5. So what is the value of ratio of speeds will be equal to ratio of distance, so this should be equal to 75 root 2 minus 25 upon A and C 25 plus 37.5, which is equal to 75 root 2. So root 2 is there in all of them. Okay. So let me take 25 as common out here. 25 into 3 root 2 minus 1. 3 root 2 minus 1 is here, not here, unlikely to be the correct answer. Okay. And out here 25 plus 37.5 is 62.5. So 12.5 into 2, 12.5 into 5. So which is 2 by 5 into 3 root 2 minus 1. Choice A. Okay, quickly let me go through all the questions again. I have another 5 minutes as to if I can attempt any other questions which I have not done so far. Okay. Let me skip this one because I am not sure about the figure. Question 2. Okay, no, not to be attempted. This we have done. 9th, done. Okay. I don't know what does A into B mean. We have done the DI. This question, I'll just come back and check this one because I remember there were some issues out here which we had, but I'll come back to this. I've just noted down. Let me see if there's any other question left. Okay. No, here the choices are closed and I may not be able to solve it. The distance penetrated by a missile is directly proportional to its penetrative power and inversely proportional to thickness of the concrete wall it has to pass through. The penetration power P of a missile is just enough to reach the inner side of the spherical shell of bunker of radius r and inner radius r. Missile is already at the center of the spherical bunker. The penetration power by the missile becomes 4 times and the bunker's inner radius remains constant. Then by how much should the thickness of the outer surface of the bunker be increased so as to just stop the missiles from entering? Okay. Okay. So let's look at this one. 3.5 minutes. Okay. So penetrative power is proportional to the distance penetrated. Okay, so distance penetrated by a missile is proportional to the penetrative power and inversely proportional to the thickness of the concrete wall it has to pass through. Okay, so we can say, so this implies D is equal to Kp upon T, or in general I'll say in this case D1 by D2 should be equal to P1 by P2 into T2 by T1. Okay, so if I like, oh yeah, we can explain this later. Okay, okay. We want the distance again. The penetration was just enough to reach the inner side of the shell. Okay, so in the first case, the thickness which is covered, thickness is r minus r. The distance covered is equal to, okay. In the first case, it says the penetration power is just enough to reach the inner side of the spherical shell. That means it's just covering the difference between the radius, which is r minus r. So d1 equal to t1 in the first case. So that means r minus r upon d2 should be equal to p1 by p2 into t2 upon r minus r. If the penetration power of the missile becomes 4 times, so penetration P2 is 4 times. So if this is 1, this should be 4. Okay. Okay. Then by how much should the thickness of increase? So just as to stop the missile from entering the inner shell. Again, T2 should be equal to D2. So this implies R minus R whole square into 4 should be equal to T2 into D2. But we know T2 has to be equal to D2 set because it should not reach the inner part. So that means this is nothing but equal to T2 square. So this becomes T2 is equal to 2 into R minus R. 2 into R minus R. So the question was how much should the thickness of the outer shell be increased? It should be doubled. So earlier the thickness was R minus R, now it should become 2 into R minus R. 1 minute 16 seconds left. Any specific question? Can I look at, okay, let me see. Okay. 41 done. Okay. Okay, I think by and large I've covered everything. Quickly go back to question number 1 or 2. Which one was that? Yeah, while I have marked the answer, let me quickly do a check. Where did I make a mistake? I know I have done something. I am not sure if this is the answer, but let me quickly see. Let me work on a piece of paper. Okay, let me skip. So only 18 seconds left. There's nothing much I can do in this paper now. So this is what I have attempted. As usual, I will do a separate analysis of this paper as to how I attempted, for which I will need to go through the video all over again. Hopefully this session has been useful for you also. We'll try doing it for a few other, we'll try doing this for a few other papers. Okay, we'll try doing it for a few other papers. And hopefully it will, if it works for you, then we'll look at doing a couple of more. Okay. So just to close the session, end of the story. Don't get carried away with this thing. There's an alarm for the which is there in this system. So time is over. will do the analysis and upload the video for you. Okay. All the best. Thank you very much.